There are rivalry games in Central Ohio in high school football, and then there's Pickerington Central, Pickerington North, and that's where we're at tonight for the annual get-together between these two teams that fight for bragging rights in the football-mad community of Pickerington. Welcome to Toyota Friday Night Rivals. Along with Jeff Logan, I'm Marty Bannister. We'll hear from Kellyanne Stitz coming up in just a couple of moments. Jeff, you played a couple of pretty big rivalry games during your days at Ohio State. This is a rivalry.
Well, as big as the Ohio State team up north game is, this is that big in this community of Pickerington Central. 10 years from now, they'll remember what happened tonight.
For Pickerington Central, a change at the top after longtime coach Jay Sherritt decided to hang it up. He turned the reins over to a guy very familiar with the Central staff, and that was defensive coordinator Jeff LaMonaco. This year's team is led by a guy, Jeff, who falls into the true category of being a leader.
He really is. He never leaves the field. Dominic Shaw, number 7, he'll play offense as a wide receiver, defense in the secondary, a captain of this football team, and again, a three-way starter, offense, defense, special teams, never get the rest.
For North and head coach Nate Hillerich, this year's Pickerington North team, it could very well end up being the best team they've had here, and one of the reasons they're off to the great start that they are is the play of 3-year starting quarterback Landon O'Connell.
Pick Central's got a sophomore quarterback. They don't have that problem at North. They've got a guy with a lot of experience. Landon this year, 56% completions, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and you talk about leadership, this 6'4" kid can lead this program.
It's the Tigers and Panthers. They claw for bragging rights, and Pickerington will have it for you coming up. It's our Toyota Friday Night Rivals matchup. Great to have you with us from Pickerington Central and Pickerington North. I'm meteorologist Marshall McPeak, and with our big crosstown rivalry yet again tonight, it is going to be a beautiful evening for some football. We are tracking a couple of random showers, but we should be mainly dry for tonight. At kickoff, still 73 degrees. By halftime, right around 70. And another big day tomorrow because it is the Buckeyes' home opener. We're going to see some sunshine mixed with clouds. Temperatures by kickoff in the upper 60s, even low 70s. Should be a great day for some football.
And Marshall is absolutely right. A great night for high school football. Hilliard Lawn and Garden is the proud sponsor of tonight's coin toss. Pickerington Central won the toss, and the Tigers have elected to defer, which means Pickerington North will get the football to start this game this evening here at Panther Stadium at Pickerington North. And again, our coin toss brought to you by Hilliard Lawn and Garden, the proud sponsor of tonight's coin toss since 1971. Our friends there at Hilliard Lawn and Garden. As we close in on this matchup tonight, the 22nd all-time get-together between these two district rivals here in Pickerington, Ohio, located on the southeast side of the city of Columbus. Just a spectacular night, some high clouds in the area, and as Marshall McPeak mentioned a short time ago, temperatures into the low 70s. We could not have asked for more picturesque or better night weather-wise for this one tonight. Tonight's kickoff is sponsored by MakeItMakeSense.org. Scan the QR code on the screen to get youths and adults the help they need to quit smoking and vaping. Marty Bannister, Jeff Logan with you this evening as we close in on this one as Pickerington Central and Pickerington North get set to meet here tonight.
You know, Marty, Pickerington North hosting this game, obviously. Their motto, creating champions since 2003. That's how long the Pickerington North program has been around. You mentioned the number of meetings between these two programs being pretty substantial, but they've had 6 opportunities to play this rivalry twice in the same season because of the playoffs.
They occupy the same region of Division I, which is Region 3. Carson Goulet to kick the football away, and we are ready for Pickerington Central and Pickerington North. The Panthers will have Michael Taylor and Sam William Dixon back, but Michael Taylor is trotting over towards the sideline before we get this one underway. I'm not sure if there's an equipment issue or something with Michael Taylor. He came trotting over, so they're going to run another return man out. Tank Washington Jr. will come out now to field the kick, so the return men will be Sam Williams, Dixon, and Michael Taylor. There you see the replacement, Tank Washington Jr. for Pickerington North. Carson Goulet, a weapon as far as kicking is concerned for Central, gets this one underway with a high end-over-end kick. That will be fielded by the dangerous Sam Williams-Dixon. He's out to the 10-yard line, sidesteps one man, and gets out near the 20-yard line, where he is brought down. The third member of our broadcast crew, let's say hello to Kellyanne Stitz.
Guys, this big game drawing lots of eyes. Over 4,000 expected in these stands as this game sold out this morning. But one notable figure not here, former Central head coach Jay Sherritt, who of course had tons of success leading the Tigers. He and Jeff LaMonaco, who now stepped up in his place, are close friends. They coached together for 25 years, becoming a big Tiger family. So when Jay retired, he pitched Jeff's name for the position. Everybody was on the same page. Of course, that came to fruition, and he said no one is more deserving of the honor. Guys.
Jeff LaMonaco, the longtime defensive coordinator here at Pickerington Central. There you see the numbers for Landon O'Connell. Jeff touched on him a short time ago, 405 yards. Yes, 3 touchdowns. Yes, 3 interceptions. But, Jeff, he's the very definition of a field general.
He really is. Prototypical. They call him the point guard. He's the guy that is supposed to distribute that football, the pointed ball, as opposed to the round ball, to as many of these game breakers that he has on this football team.
Whistles come in before the ball is snapped. The line of scrimmage is the 20.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Offense, number 10. 5-yard penalty. Down remains 1.
And our first penalty flag of the night, sponsored by the United States Army. That gentleman was Jeff Volpio, the referee in tonight's matchup. So pushing back 5 to the 15. And 1st and 15 for Pickerington North. The Panthers 3-0 on the season. And O'Connell will throw and comes to the near side. The pass is caught. This is the dangerous Preston Bowman. And there he goes. He's on the run to the 45. He's into Central territory. This is a foot race. He is not going to lose. One play, 85 yards. Pickerington North takes the lead.
Wow.
How impressive was that? That little curl-in route that Bowman caught in stride, and he was on his way to the end zone. You'll get a look at it here. Jeff Logan, a great throw and a great catch and a great run.
I want you to watch the linebacker right there, just a little late dropping back into coverage. That was Aaron Heller, not able to get deep enough to be able to force the throw over top of him. And this is off to the races. And the one thing Preston Bowman's got to make sure he does, do not celebrate until you get in the end zone.
That's another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. And he sauntered into the end zone from 85 yards out. He just ran away and hid from people and scored easily. He's a 3-star recruit, and that touchdown reception was his first of the season his third of the season rather for Bowman. And watch it again here, just how quickly, Jeff, he runs away from everybody.
And again, this ball is thrown on time and on target, and you can look at the speed this young man has. A little bit unfortunate for Pickerington Central. They had a couple guys run into each other. Patrick Carney, the strong safety, had a last-second shot before he broke it down the sidelines, and my goodness, a rivalry game has started off with a bang.
It indeed starts off with a cannon shot. And there you get a good look at number one with the first score of the night, Preston Bowman, the three-star recruit. And that is a very simple scoring summary right there. One play, 85 yards. It took him 14 seconds to go the distance for the touchdown. And the scoring summary brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of Franklin County. 7-0 the lead for Pickerington North before Pickerington Central touches the football.
You know, it's real interesting that Pickerington North came out and a little discombobulated at the beginning. They had to take a guy off the kickoff return team, maybe equipment, maybe an injury situation. Hard to believe you get injured before the game starts, but they had to substitute there. Then late getting up to the line of scrimmage, and you have a delay of game penalty before the game even starts. The clock isn't even ready to go, and you got delay of game, and you come back with a touchdown strike of 75 yards, 74 yards officially, I guess. But what a terrific job by Pickerington North.
There was no delay in the speed of Bowman. He was gone when he made that catch and then just separated and scored. Here's the kick by Landon Grosh for North, and Central with a good return as carrying out across the 40-yard line and being bumped out of bounds. The return man for Pickerington Central, as running that one back, was Terrence Alexander. He's a dangerous threat, both running and carrying the ball for this Pickerington Central offense. And the Tigers, who are down 7-0, will get their first touch of the football 22 seconds into this game, led by their sophomore quarterback, Rocco Williams, 250 yards throwing. Couple of touchdowns, no interceptions. They are not afraid to spread the wealth, especially on an early series with the football, are the Tigers. They will have a number of different guys in and out of the backfield that will get the football. Rocco Williams is developing into a very talented quarterback. First play of the game for Central is a handoff to Terrence Alexander, trying to turn the corner to the far side. Let's meet the starting lineups, and this is the Pickerington Central offense, brought to you by the University of Toledo with more than 270 degree programs. Watch the middle, Ray Jackson, the center, 6'2", 335-pounder. That offensive line will have its handful tonight with a very good Pickerington North defensive front. They'll be a key to Central moving the football tonight. That play gained 3 out to the 43-yard line. We're just underway. We'll hand it off again, and making it out towards the midfield stripe before being dragged down was Kwan Alexander, 5'11", 170-pound junior, picking up the first down. It's a Buckeye State Bank first down. Buckeye State Bank. Together we win. Let's check out that North defense, which at times has been very stingy this season. Angelo McCullum's headed to play at Illinois. He is the guy who sets the tone for that defense right in the middle. 6'3", 285-pound senior. But keep an eye on the linebackers. Cam Butler-Woods and Kaylon Lyles are a couple of guys that head coach Nate Hillerich is very happy with.
Yeah, keep an eye on 94 on the defensive front. Angelo McCullum, Marty just talked about him. This guy they believe is unblockable.
Williams will hand off. This is the third different back to touch the ball in this opening series. That's Aaron Heller plowing his way towards another Central first down. He's going to be about a yard shy. As I mentioned a moment ago, this is something that Central has been known for, certainly under Jay Sherritt, and Jeff LaMonica has kind of kept that, if you will, tradition alive. A lot of different guys touch the ball on the opening series, and this time it's Aaron Heller.
Yeah, a lot of substitutions, a lot of different packages, making sure that the eyes in the sky up here, the coaches that are up in the press box are able to look at different defensive fronts with different formations.
2nd down and 3 call, and this will be Terrence Alexander trying to get to the edge and steps his way towards the yard marker and is close to another first down for Central. Got across the 40 to the 39-yard line. Like it might be good enough, and it is good enough. Another Buckeye State Bank first down. Buckeye State Bank, together we win. There you see the numbers for Terrence Alexander, 120 yards coming into this game. Last year in the 2 meetings with North, he ran for 58 in the regular season game and hit 84 in the second matchup. Jeff talked about it a while ago. 6 times these two programs have met twice in a season, as again they are residents of the same region of Division III. A lot of congestion around that handoff in the middle there, and not much running room at all for the ball carrier that time for Pickerington Central, that was Devin Anderson, a 5'11", 140 sophomore getting his first touch. And again, that's, by my count, that's the fourth different back to touch the football here in this first quarter on this first series.
There's Jeff LaMonaco on the sidelines, a staple, as Marty has mentioned, of the Pickerington Tiger football program.
And when you make a change like you made when Jay Sherritt decided to call it a career, we'll tell you more in a minute, as Williams rolls to throw. Nice little flare to the flat, and the pass is caught, and tight-roping the sideline is Deuce White Jr., who gets down the near side sideline and picks up another first down for this Central offense. They're answering right away. After the 85-yard scoring strike, the Tigers are roaring right back down the field.
Yeah, Sharon White, they call him Deuce there. This is 8th reception on the season. 91 yards coming into tonight's ball game, yet to score a touchdown. But again, one of those multiple weapons available to quarterback Rocco Williams.
18 and a first down for Pickerington Central. I was mentioning Jay Sherritt handing the reins over to Jeff LaMonaco. When you make that kind of a change, you like to have a guy who's already invested and knows your system as flags come in as the ball is snapped. Jeff, that made the transition so much easier for the folks at Central.
Yeah, no question about it. Here's the call by the official.
Ball start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Looked like Central really wanted to go fast there, getting up to the line quickly, trying to pick up the momentum a little bit. One penalty on each side now. 1st and 15.
The Pickerington North defense has allowed an average of 11 points a game through their three. They really sent a message to Central Ohio football in their season opener. They went down to the pit at Cincinnati Elder and beat the Panthers 39-35. A lot of purple and a lot of Panthers on the field that night. Both teams wear purple. Both teams are nicknamed Panthers. Williams rolls to throw on 1st and 15 and goes to the far side. The pass is batted away. Good coverage over there. Flag comes in late.
Yeah, very, very tight coverage, I will call it. Got a left-handed quarterback, as you've noticed already. Rocco Williams rolling to his left. That is perfect for the young man to be able to throw the football. And let's see if they call the interference.
Pass interference. Defense, number 28. Half the distance to the goal.
That was Tyler Irby guilty of the pass interference call. Watch it here.
There's the roll. Good job of delivering the football. And you can see contact coming just a little early. Watch this from ground level. And it's interesting, the official that made the play was the side judge who was actually facing the play. The back judge really was blocked from being able to know when the contact came when the football got there. But apparently he was there a little too early.
Ball moved to the spot of the foul, the 14-yard line. And the Central drive continues. We're 3 minutes in. If you missed the early part of the game, you missed an 85-yard scoring strike on the first play from scrimmage. O'Connell hit Preston Bowman, who did the rest by himself, 85 yards for the score. But unfazed by that, the Central Tigers have marched right back down the field and are inside the red zone. We're going to reset the play clock here.
40 seconds. 40.
So 40 seconds. This
40 seconds on the whistle. I'm not sure what.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate that. Jeff Volpio, the official, making sure everybody knows. 40 seconds. How many seconds, Jeff?
I think 40.
Okay, thank you. They'll put backs on either side of Williams, and he'll hand the football off. Aaron Heller into the middle of the field. Again, the line of scrimmage, the 14-yard line as Heller plows ahead. He had the winning touchdown in their victory over North. Central played back-to-back games against teams from the Greater Western Ohio Conference, which is a powerhouse league in the Miami Valley over in the Dayton area. They had Wayne 2 weeks ago. It's a very talented team year in and year out. And then last week came up short in a a game played at Centerville. The two schools' basketball teams have met each of the last 2 years in the state tournament in Dayton. Movement across the line of scrimmage here.
Good hard count that time by sophomore Rocco Williams. Got the entire front.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defensive players. 5-yard penalty. Down remains 1.
That look at the penalty flag, Jeff, sponsored by the U.S. Army.
Marty, I was going to tell you, they've got an unbalanced line here. Look at the number of linemen to the left of the quarterback. Excuse me, only 2 on the right side, and you've got 4 there. They'll come out and put 6 guys up there on the line of scrimmage.
And again, flags fly as the ball is snapped. May have been movement again on the defensive side of the ball.
Not what you expect to see necessarily from 2 really well-coached teams in week 4, but it gives you some idea.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense number 28, lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal, down remains 1.
Gives you some idea how much pressure is on this game and guys wanting to get there quick and to make plays, but you've got to be careful.
First and goal to 4. The handoff goes to Heller. Sidesteps one man, sidesteps another, and dives towards the goal line and does not get in. He is close. Another flag comes flying in after the play. Angelo McCullum is the Panther player trotting off the field carrying his hat with him. His helmet popped off on that play. McCullum will have to check out a play here.
See how quickly
helmet came popped off during the play, Jeff.
See how quickly he got into the backfield there. Nearly had the tackle for a loss.
During the play, helmet came off of his body. By rule, he must stop participating in the play, but he did not. Therefore, we have illegal participation. 94 of the defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Yeah, it's a safety issue. If McCullum comes across, you can see the helmet go off, and he is still engaging in the play. He's just got to stop, and, you know, that's the hardest thing for a talented athlete to do.
And into the end zone for the first score of the night for the Central Tigers is Kwan Alexander on the handoff. And just like that, Central goes right back down the field after the opening strike by North. They answer with a touchdown drive, a lengthy touchdown drive, and they're within a point of tying this game up.
Good push by the offensive line, going right over that section where you might have Angelo McCullum lined up, out of the game because of the helmet infraction, and able to take the ball into the end zone. Kwan Alexander, that is, from a rushing standpoint, his 4th touchdown on the season.
Carson Goulet for the extra point. It is airborne, and it is good, and this game is leveled at 7. Goulet last year was 49 of 50 on extra point attempts. He's a perfect 7 for 7 this year after the Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. The Battle of Pickerington is tied at a touchdown apiece early on our Friday Night Rivals matchup.
Toyota Camry has been America's best-selling car for over 20 years.
Hey, everybody knows that. But here's something you may not know. It's now available with all-wheel drive.
To give you the confidence and peace of mind to handle any kind of road conditions.
And of course, Camry's assembled right here in the USA.
Now you can get 3.99 APR financing on an exciting new Camry, plus 2 years no-cost maintenance.
The more you know, the more you'll drive Toyota. Let's go places.
7-7 is the score. Welcome back to Panther Stadium at Pickerington North High School. There is the scoring summary, again brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of Franklin County. 9 plays, 61 yards, 3 minutes, 16 seconds. Jeff, how important was it for Central to answer that quick strike score by North?
Well, not only answer to get the score even, but they needed to make sure that they took possession of the football, a classic Pickerington Tiger football drive, consuming the football, mixing run with pass, and not getting that high-powered offense back on the field right away for Pickerington North.
This kick will be fielded by Michael Taylor at the 5-yard line for North. Tries to get to the far side, has the corner to the 20, 25, 30. He's got some speed, and he has a nice return. Out across the 30-yard line to the 36. And that's where the Pickerington North offense will come onto the field and start. You look at those receivers, the talent that they have there, but keep an eye as well, too, on the middle of that offensive line. They have some talented guys across that front. Aiden Anarino, Tim Grable, Solance Blakely, Tim Grable, Rex Lahr, the Liberty University commit. They paved the way for that offense, which right now is only averaging 385 yards a game.
You know, the one thing you're going to hear us talk about a lot tonight are 3, 4, 5-star football players, and the fact that, Marty, in my opinion, we're going to see more Division I prospects on the field tonight than many leagues in Central Ohio have together for the entire league. We're going to see more of those tonight on the field between these two programs.
3 wide receivers to the near side as O'Connell goes back to throw again and looking downfield and unable to connect with his wideout Derek Ross Jr., who was trying to get behind the Pickerington Central defense. And there you get a look at that Tigers defense. They've been very stingy against the run this year, just 79 yards a game. They held Olentangy Liberty to -19 on the ground in their opener. They have a lot of talent. The linebackers, Jeff LaMonaco really likes Aaron Heller and Braylon Landrum at those linebacker spots. We talked about Dominic Shaw in the open, and that's another guy to keep an eye on, number 7 defensively. O'Connell to throw with pressure, finds Bowman, who makes a catch, and there he goes again. Bowman to the 45 of Central, to the 30. He's down the near side sideline to the 25, and is finally thrown down from behind after another pitch and catch and a lengthy run for Preston Bowman. He's been a major factor in this game through the first 7 minutes.
My goodness, Landon O'Connell, this is the experience of a quarterback. He's back there reading, able to throw the football. Bowman made himself eligible, available, and visible to his quarterback, and he's able to take it down inside the 20-yard line. What a night in the first quarter Preston Bowman has had already.
85 yards for a score, 47 yards for a first down on that catch by Preston Bowman. And Central, with its defense, having to, again, bow its back as North has gone through the air to march right back down the field. Landon O'Connell coming into the game, hitting 55% of his passes, 30 of 54 for 405 yards. First running play of the night. This is Sam Williams-Dixon trying to get to the outside. The transfer from Millersburg, West Holmes, who was an Ohio State commit, who only scored 76 touchdowns in the last 2 years at Millersburg, West Holmes.
Yeah,
just 76.
Just 76.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive by that young man. Transferred down here to Pickerington, 47 carries, 311 for the total yards and 3 touchdowns. Obviously finding the going a little bit tougher here at this level than maybe he had it back at West Holmes High School. But again, improving himself along the way. There's head coach Nate Hillerich across the way with his Panther football team.
No gain on that play by Sam Williams-Dixon. We mentioned an Ohio State recruit coming into the game. 311 yards, 3 touchdowns on the season. No question there's an upgrade in the type of talent he's going up against, but there's no question as well, too, that young man has a lot of talent.
He fits.
Flare to the far side through the hands of Michael Taylor. He will wisely track down the football, as they call that a lateral.
And it was. A good job of getting back to the football. Quarterback Landon O'Donnell trying to get the swing pass out to the very gifted Dorian Hamilton. And watch here, he's going to throw this from right about the 22-yard line, the 22 hash mark, and the ball was thrown at about the 23. And great heads-up play that time by Dorian Hamilton.
And Hamilton, not Taylor. 22 was Taylor, 23 is Hamilton. The way he was twisted that time, the ball went off his hands and went backwards. So after the big sprint for the first down by Bowman, the North offense starting to go backwards now. That play will lose yardage back to the 23. They lose a half dozen. They're facing a 3rd and 16 now, as this explosive first quarter is 2 seconds away from the 7-minute mark. Good look at that Pickerington Central defense. There's Tavion Galloway, two-way performer. We'll see a lot of time on offense as well, too, at the tight end spot for Central.
Looks like we're continuing to have some clock issues. Officials talking to both coaches on both sidelines.
That's one of the things that has hampered Central this year through 3 games, flagged 32 times in the 3 games for penalties.
We'll get that 7 in. We get away from the PA.
Everyone appears to be on the same page now. Jeff LaMonaco, his first go-around as a high school head coach. Played at Ohio University. O'Connell dances back to throw, dumps it over the middle. It's an inside screen. Pass is caught by A.J. Miller, and he is promptly planted to the field turf surface after a gain of just a couple.
Boy, what a good adjustment the defensive line made when they felt the pressure wasn't there in terms of blocking. They could feel it was going to be a screen play over the middle. And look at the big hosses that are just kind of waiting. That's DeJuan Thompson Green, number 5, 6'1", 270-pound senior, and he read it like he was a defensive back.
On 4th and 14 from the Central 21, North initially thinking about playing on this down. Landon O'Connell staring over at the sideline, waiting for the words of wisdom of offensive coordinator Jared Pruitt and head coach Nate Hillerich.
You can see the flashing clock back there. That is our play clock. And that obviously not operating at the number that they want. They may have to keep it on the field. And again, if they have to do that, then the back judge would be raising his hand with 5 seconds to go. We'll see what happens. Go down to Kellyanne Stitz on the sidelines. Kellyanne?
Yeah, guys, so they are obviously having trouble with the play clock. And with that being said, they are going to keep it on the field for now instead of the scoreboard. We heard that from a sideline ref.
So the play clock continues to flash 8.
Do we have everything covered or what?
Amazing.
I mean, how good is that?
Absolutely.
Kellyanne knew before anybody else.
That's why she's on the sidelines. That's why she's Kellyanne.
Yeah, there you go.
4th and 14 upcoming. And again, a lot of the logistical aspects of this being worked out now before the ball is snapped. 7-7 is our score. Nate Hillerich, the head coach of Pickerington North in his 7th year, 70-33 overall as a head coach. Had 3 very successful years at Hamilton Township where he went 23-10. A Pickerington resident. Back to throw as O'Connell looks to the near side for Bowman. Ball's in the air. Bowman has it and goes down. Is he in the end zone? He is in. Touchdown. Pickerington North. Preston Bowman. His 3rd catch. 1 for 85. 1 for 47. That one for a touchdown. And Pickerington North has surged right back on top.
Man, I'll tell you, the talent out there. Preston Bowman, only 6 foot, but plays much taller than that. This is what we call high pointing the football. Number one, the quarterback has got to do the great job that he did there. Throw it up. The timing on this is absolutely perfect. Terrence Alexander, one of the really talented defensive backs in Central Ohio on the defense. He was right there. But from a timing standpoint, high pointing the football is the difference maker.
You talked about having everything covered. Outstanding camera work by our Friday Night Rivals crew with that covered from stem to stern on that touchdown reception to Preston Bowman. Here's Landon Grosjean to try the extra point. Easily converted on the first one. Almost halfway through this rollicking first quarter here at North. The extra point attempt is up, and it is good. And Pickerington North goes right back down the field after Central went right down the field to tie it at 7. North's back on top. Preston Bowman. Probably third, yeah. Yeah, you came on a good night. This thing is something else. Thanks to our friends at Kroger Great Lakes Distribution Center. Tonight's game is streaming live on the ABC6 YouTube channel, the ABC6 News app, and on the CWColumbus.com. It has been a lot of fun, and we're only 6 minutes into it tonight here at Pickerington North High School. 14-7 is the lead for Pickerington North over Pickerington Central. Here is your scoring summary, brought to you again by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health. 5 plays, 64 yards, 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Another quick strike score by the North offense. Central had a extended drive to get down the field to get on the board, and that's where we stand right now. It is 14-7, Pickerington North.
Well, it came on a big 3rd down conversion, too. You know, that wasn't an easy play to be able to execute. And you're going to make a big deal out of the fact, and he should, that was a terrific catch, but the throw was right where it had to be to allow your talented football player a chance to go up and separate himself and come up with the ball.
Grosh to kick it away, and they're going to go with a short pooch kick that's fielded by one of the upbacks for Pickerington Central, as that one is covered quickly as they went with that high short kick to try to catch Central napping. It didn't work, and the offense will come onto the field for the Tigers at the 40-yard line. Jeff Lamonaco and his coaching staff. So often when you make a change, a lot of districts will look outside the district to bring somebody in. But I think, again, a very good move to keep everything somewhat status quo by elevating him to head football coach. Handoff, this is Anthony Madison, and there he goes. Madison hasn't played yet this season until tonight, and he steps in and is close to a first down. In fact, he may have got the first down. The keys to victory tonight for both these teams, really pretty simple. There are no secrets. When you've met 6 times, twice in a season, nothing can be hidden from the other one. And that has been pretty much the story between these two. So block all the outside noise, Jeff. Control your emotions. And I think we've seen that early on in this game with the number of the penalties we've had early on.
Yeah, that all sounds good. Marking the ball short of the first down there.
At the 48.
Yep.
A couple of yards shy, so a third down coming up.
Those keys are absolutely spot on. But as a player, man, you can't wait for the game to get started. And then what happens is, once you got a couple hits out there, poof, we're back to a regular game.
That old break of sweat, right?
Yep.
Rocco Williams rolls to throw. Being chased now on third down until a flag is down, and Williams is down way back downfield. But again, there is a flag down, and this is thrown in the air. In fact, there are 3 flags down. This is usually in the area where you might associate a holding call as forthcoming.
Holding. Offense. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
Line of scrimmage was the 48, but Rocco Williams was thrown down for a major loss. And there's Angelo McCullum.
There's the hold.
Yeah, with the hat back on.
Well, what are you going to do? I mean, they called him unblockable. He's going to the University of Illinois to play football at the next level. And I would say that at that point, he is unblockable. I mean, there is no question. And in order to protect your quarterback, Parker Harden right there, the big kid at 6'4", 295. Now think about that. 6'4", 295, taking on 6'2", 285. Someone's going to win. But, man, you talk about a heap of humanity going at each other.
Helped out by Ben Thompson and Kalen Lyles. Pickerington Central will boot the football away. Logan Hicks on to do the punting chores tonight. This will be his 4th attempt of the season. He's averaging 40 yards per kick. High snap that he has to pull down. He had to backpedal a moment. And a kick that will go off the side of his foot to the near side and take a somewhat decent central roll. But the North offense will come onto the field again with pretty good field position as they start this third drive. They have a 14-7 lead. September is Hunger Action Month. And the CW Columbus is teaming up with the Mid-Ohio Food Collective to raise awareness. From small towns like here in Pickerington to the state capitol, hunger lives here, but so does help. Scan the QR code on the screen now to learn how to get help, give help, volunteer, and advocate for hunger solutions in the great state of Ohio. We encourage you certainly to do that. It is a problem that is not going away anytime soon. Ball out to the 38, and that's where North will start first down and 10. Jeff Logan, you talked about Landon O'Connell in the open, and his resume is pretty good right now.
Pretty sweet start. 5 out of 648 yards, 2 touchdowns. But then you go to the receiver, Preston Bowman. 3 catches, 152 yards in both scores. That would be half a season for most guys.
First down and 10. O'Connell's flushed out of the pocket, being chased in a great defensive play as Miles Harrison got him from behind and drops him for a loss. Just what the Central defense needed. The loss back to the 25.
Yep. Very active outside linebacker. Number 34 is tracking him down. He had 7 tackles against Detroit Wayne in an earlier season game, and you can see the pressure and the strength of number 34 coming with great speed. And I don't think Landon O'Connell had that rear view mirror up there to be able to know that somebody was tracking him down.
Last week against Centerville, Harrison had 2 tackles for a loss, and that was a drop of 13 yards back to the 25-yard line. Handoff inside. This is Michael Taylor, and again, that defense of Central finds a gap, and they're able to get through it as one number 22 comes roaring in to make the stop on the other 22.
Again, they're trying to establish the run. They want to get something going here momentum-wise, especially because Pickerington Central is wary of that ball being thrown over top of them again, and they've got more defensive backs. That should open up the ability to be able to run the football.
That play loses a couple back to the 23, so it's a 3rd and 25 now for the North offense.
4 wide receivers to the bottom of the screen. You got man coverage, but they're going to run it.
Inside, and with some running room, this is Michael Taylor out across the 40, and is dropped shy of the 45-yard line out to the 43. A 20-yard gain, but he's still shy of the first down. And we'll see what the mindset of Nate Hillerich is here. They're going to keep the offense on the field.
Look at this.
On a 4th down and 5 call.
See if they go with a hard count here, trying to get somebody to jump.
3 wides to the near side. Ball is spotted at the 43, so they are 5 away from a first down right here.
We do not have a play clock. We are calling the play clock on the field, meaning our back judge will raise his hand when there are 5 seconds left on that 40-second clock. There's the hand goes up in the air. He's counting it down, and they may end up taking delay a game here. Nope, timeout.
Nate Hillerich calling timeout with 2:26 to go here in quarter number 1.
That's their first time out of the half.
District rivalry between these two. This is the 22nd overall meeting for the Panthers of head coach Nate Hillerich and the Tigers of Jeff Lamonaco. And Pickerington Central has won 17 of the prior matchups. Now, how about these numbers? 32 playoff appearances, Jeff Logan. A couple of state titles. They both belong to Central. How about the bottom line of that?
Developed here.
It developed here. 15 players, either currently or have played in the National Football League out of this community. And you think back, 30 years ago, this was a rather small area. They were in the Mid-State League at one time when it was just Pickerington.
Gives you some idea of the growth of what's going on.
Absolutely.
The fact that they've got 2 high schools out here, and obviously all the athletics programs in the Pickerington school systems, men's, women's, boys, girls, whatever you want to be, they're all terrific, and they've got great numbers to pick from.
4th and 4. Elijah Powell is in the backfield now for North. He's off to the right of quarterback Landon O'Connell. And again, we have a halt before the ball is snapped.
Timeout. Pick Central.
So the chess game continues here in quarter number 1. Good look at that Central sideline.
The old saying, you can't take them with you. You might as well use them. But the special teams coach bringing everybody together. They weren't sure whether or not Pickerington North was going to line up in punt formation, which they did. And they may not have had the exact call that they wanted from a defensive standpoint. So now what they'll do is they'll discuss in that huddle for Pickerington Central that we're going to be prepared for our defense if they do not line up, but also be wary of the fake punt as well. It's only 4th and 5 yards, and Coach Hillerich is a little bit of a wheeler dealer. He's not afraid to take some risks out there.
North this year opened up with that win, as we talked about, over Cincinnati Elder. They beat Pine Richland from Pennsylvania 35-14. And then last week, right here, knocked off what is, I think, a pretty good Upper Arlington team. Beat them 28-8. Good win for his football team. Out of the shotgun formation. And now they will punt. And good pressure on that punt that time. Bowman doing the kicking. A 34-yard average. And the Central offense on the fair catch will have the football at their 27-yard line. We were talking about that Pine Richland program. That's the second year of a 2-year home and home between these two programs. Last year, North traveled over there, and they have some of the better facilities in the state of Pennsylvania, which is a hotbed for high school football.
And they're
certainly that Western Pennsylvania league
they're a state championship team.
Yes.
And most schools will backload their schedule, play kind of an early schedule even on. These two football teams have played a brutal schedule. We talked about Pickerington North with Elder, Richland, and Upper Arlington. On the other side of the coin, I'll get to Pickerington Central after the play.
Here's Williams to throw, and he's got a receiver wide open and just cannot connect. Williams was rolling to the right downfield, and no one was anywhere near that intended receiver.
Watch.
And this ball goes right off the fingertips of Madison.
This is Anthony Madison coming out of the backfield, and right there, right at the fingertips. This is a young man that has not played all year due to injury and nearly came up with the biggest play of the season for them. Man, that would have been huge, but a really good throw by Rocco Williams. But when you get somebody that wide open, even if they have to come back to the football, make sure they can catch it.
2nd down and 10 from their own 27. Williams again will go back to throw with McCullum coming in, and he fires over the middle and has a receiver. This is Tavian Galloway with the reception, and he spins across the 40. A 1st down for Galloway, the 6'5", 230-pound senior. A LSU verbal, and he has the 1st down as he carries out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. That 1st down, a Buckeye State Bank 1st down. Buckeye State Bank, together we win. Galloway's an interesting story. Jeff, he's on his 3rd high school. He started out at Chillicothe Unioto, transferred the short distance to play at Chillicothe, and left that program last year, and is now here at Pickerington Central. Handoff goes to Aaron Heller, and he is grabbed by a lot of guys wearing black and gray and purple in the middle of that line and dropped for a loss of a couple.
Big Angelo McCullum in there again, making the play. And I tell you, just the penetration is something that they are winning at the line of scrimmage, talking about Pickerington North being able to get pressure in that backfield on that young quarterback, Rocco Williams.
They will send a couple of wides to the near side. And speed, Alexander in motion. Williams looks that way and fires. Alexander reaches out and makes the catch, and then is grabbed and brought down by Malachi Taylor, the nickelback, coming up to go man coverage and drop Alexander after a short gain.
This is what we refer to as an RPO, run pass option. Now you got your left-handed quarterback rolling to the right, so you kind of worry about whether or not he's going to try and throw the football. But that time he squared himself up, was able to get the ball to the back out of the backfield. And the good part about it is he led him so that he could continue his momentum going forward, and it created an opportunity to at least have manageable 3rd down situation.
Rocco Williams, the 6'1", 195-pound sophomore quarterback, grew 2.5 inches over the summer, according to head coach Jeff LaMonaco. And with the empty backfield, rushes on, dumps over the middle, the pass is caught. Terrence Alexander makes the catch, and is thrown down right at the marker into North territory at the 48.
This is going to be close, but they are waving to move the chains.
Buckeye State Bank.
Goodness.
1st down coming up here. Together we win. Buckeye State Bank.
Right over the middle. That is terrific. A lot of bodies flying around in there. And that's a ball that you don't see many sophomore quarterbacks, the ability to throw into that tight window that was there. A lot of times those balls will get picked off because they're trying to force the ball, but Rocco Williams delivered it on target and on time.
Sophomore quarterback coming into the game, 62% of his passes were completed, 250 yards. Last week at Centerville was 11 of 20 for 114 yards. And that last play will be the last play of a explosive 1st quarter here at North Stadium at Pickerington North High School. 14-7, Pickerington North leads Pickerington Central. Welcome back to Panther Stadium at North High School in Pickerington, along with Jeff Logan and Central Ohio's favorite sideline reporter, Kellyanne Stitz. I'm Marty Bannister. It has been a fun one so far, and Pickerington Central and Pickerington North, their annual get-together, as K1 Alexander takes the first handoff of quarter number 2 and works to the right side. From the 48-yard line, a short gain out to the 43, a pickup of 5.
Yeah, K1 Alexander had the early score in the football game for Pickerington Central in quarter number 1. Came into the ball game averaging 5.5 yards a try. And it's a 3 or 4-headed monster over there running the football between K1 Alexander, Aaron Heller, and now Anthony Madison getting his shots.
Angelo McCullum moved up front.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense, 94. Result of the play, first down.
McCullum last year had 34 tackles, 11 tackles for a loss for this North defense. You'll watch him jump early up front.
Whoops. Hey, look at him on his tiptoes.
Hands come up.
You know, it's again, at that size, how you going to hide it? But looked pretty good on his tippy toes.
He was trying to sell it, put his hands up. I didn't mean to do that. Ball pushed ahead to the 38. Moment's hesitation by Terrence Alexander, and he finds a gap and exploits it and gets to the 30-yard line.
Wildcat formation that time with a direct snap back to your wide receiver slash wingback, running back, Terrence Alexander.
Alexander will spend some time in the backfield, will also line up as a wide out.
15 yards, second down.
A personal foul will wipe out the gain, however, by Alexander on the Central offense. That will walk the ball back to the 44-yard line. Jeff, I asked you a short time ago about the emotions of a game like this, penalties such as a personal foul. I think sometimes in a game like this, if you're a coaching staff, you never want those penalties, obviously, but sometimes do you maybe understand them a little more?
Well,
is that a fair term?
You understand it, but you can't accept it.
Yeah.
All right? If you catch my drift on that. You realize this is a high-tension game. High pressure all the time. What you don't want to be out there doing is just trash talking or making a silly mistake, and that was a good example of a silly error.
2nd and 18. Here's a pass to the near side. Williams with the flare to the near side. Terrence Alexander with the catch. But Tyson Long says you're not going any further after making the catch and shoves him down at the 48-yard line.
Just a junior playing that cornerback spot, and what a great read by him. Jumps the pass right away, squares up, and ladies and gentlemen, this is picturesque, perfect technique for that cornerback coming up and making the play in space.
Line of scrimmage will be the Central 48-yard line.
If you don't break down like that as a cornerback, you'll get out there and that guy will give you a little sugar, and all of a sudden you're screwed. I mean, he's gone.
Pickerington Central last year went 9-4 in Jay Sherritt's final go-around as head coach. They won the OCC Buckeye Division, a perfect 5-0. They were the number 4 seed in their region. And again, had to play Pickerington Central or Pickerington North twice last year. Williams delivers over the middle. Oh, what a great defensive play. Reaching out and knocking that ball away was the nickelback, Malachi Taylor. Jeff Logan, you got to love defensive plays like that.
Yeah, you really do. And again, they're doing a great job of reading the eyes of quarterback Rocco Williams. Again, a sophomore quarterback. He's locked in on a receiver, throws it over the middle, and you can see trailing the play, but in position is a sophomore, number 6, Malachi Taylor. What about the upside for that young man?
Able to reach out and just casually swat that pass out of the way. Tank Washington Jr. back to return the punt, and it will take a nice central roll inside the 10 and will wobble to a halt at the 9-yard line. 14-7 is the lead for Pickerington North over Pickerington Central tonight here at Panther Stadium in Pickerington. It has been a explosive first quarter. Things have calmed down just a little bit here in quarter number 2.
Nice facility out here at Pickerington North, and thanks to the athletic department here for putting us right on the 50-yard line. Terrific view and great crew here welcoming us to the Panther Stadium.
So North will start at their own 9 with just under 10 minutes to go here in this second quarter. 6'4", 200-pound quarterback Landon O'Connell hands off to the far side, and here's some running room as Sam Williams-Dixon has the sideline far side in front of the Central bench and is finally run down as he got out near the midfield stripe. took that handoff, swept to the edge, and Sam Williams-Dixon, the Ohio State commit, shows the Buckeye coaching staff what he'll be capable of doing on Saturdays.
I think Tony Alford, the running backs coach at Ohio State, saw the pop that this young man has. That's why you've got the offer, and this young man is able to maybe even prove it a little bit more with the competition he's up against. Marker on the field?
He stepped out of bounds, Jeff, back at the 40-yard line. So
still a first down,
still a 31-yard gain. Yeah.
Takes him out of that awful starting situation inside the 10-yard line without having to put the ball in the air.
That's our first Bowling Green State University first down of quarter number 2. Handoff to Michael Taylor, sifting through a hole, and there he goes. And Michael Taylor is gone to the 30, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. And this one, though, may be coming back. There is a flag down way back upfield.
Man, it just took a little bit of time to develop. He just let his blocks get set up, and you can see the conversation with quarterback Landon O'Connell. There's the play. It is coming back. But my goodness, you talk about shot out of the cannon.
Illegal shift. Offense. Left side of the O-line was going down to their three-point stance while the motion man then started into motion. Any of the three set for 1 second. 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
And this penalty flag sponsored by the United States Army, referee Jeff Volpio, giving you the detailed explanation as why the flag was thrown.
You got to let the line get set before you go in motion. Those two cannot be moving at the same time when other parts of the line have already set their formation. And again, a very unfortunate situation because it brings back a huge touchdown run.
But you're right, Michael Taylor was high stepping down that sideline, wasn't he?
He looked good.
He did.
4 touchdowns already this season.
1st and 15, the ball back to the 35, and they'll hand it off again. And this is Sam Williams-Dixon back into the game, and he dives across the 40-yard line where he is brought down.
Yeah, Michael Taylor had an 80-yard home run against Elder early here in the season.
Well, they refer to him as their home run hitter on offense, Michael Taylor, out of that running back spot. Much like Pickerington Central, which will run a number of guys in rather on that side of the ball on offense when they have it. Pickerington North can do the same thing. Dorian Hamilton, Michael Taylor, Sam Williams-Dixon, numbers 22, 23, and 24, so they are numerically correct when they do that as well.
Yeah, Preston Bowman hasn't seen the ball in a while.
Hand off inside, and this is Williams-Dixon again, bouncing out near the midfield stripe, close to a first down to the 49-yard line. I mentioned the numbers of Williams-Dixon at Millersburg West Holmes. Last year he ran for 1,300 yards and scored 41 touchdowns. In 2021, he had 35 trips to the end zone. How many touchdowns did you score in your days at Ohio State? It wasn't 76, was it?
No, it wasn't 76. Pete Johnson might have had 76.
Pete Johnson might have had 76, absolutely.
Yeah, when we got in, if I didn't score from outside the 10-yard line, I promise you 33 was getting the ball.
3rd down and 1 for North, and they hand it off inside. Sam Williams-Dixon gets the first down. Kellyanne Stitz on the sideline for us tonight.
Hey guys, as you mentioned, Pick North running back Sam Williams-Dixon is an Ohio State commit. I caught up with him earlier, and he said one of the big reasons that he chose to commit to the Buckeyes is because of running backs coach Tony Alford. He really enjoys him as a person and a coach. Of course, he also said when the offer came in, it was a dream come true. Being from Ohio, growing up here, playing here in Columbus, it's always been a dream to play for Ohio State, and he's looking forward to signing with the Buckeyes. Guys.
7 carries, 51 yards to this juncture of the game. O'Connell back to throw after the first down. The Bowling Green State University first down. They go to the air, and they have a receiver, Derek Ross Jr., who had one called back earlier, makes that catch. It goes down the near side sideline. And the Pickerington North offense is rolling once again as they move inside, close to the central red zone.
Watching closely to make sure he doesn't step out of bounds, but this throw by quarterback O'Connell to not get it outside of his reach and force him out of bounds, and Derek Ross, a senior, able to come up with that catch.
26 yards and the first down. The handoff goes to Michael Taylor, and Taylor into the middle of that pile at the 21-yard line.
I'm impressed with the home run ability of this Pickerington North football team. Not just one phase of the game either, running the football or throwing the ball. Both sides balanced, but the ability to just break out and make big plays.
And Landon O'Connell, Jeff, is the trigger man to all of that.
No question.
2nd down and 8. They'll put a man in motion to the near side and hand the football off. And coming to the near side now is the home run hitter, Taylor, as he gets to the corner and is shoved out of bounds at the last moment. Dominic Shaw, one of our stars to watch in this one this evening, might have been a touchdown-saving push out of bounds right there.
You know, the one thing I've noticed on Pickerington Central defense is they're getting turned on the corner. This is very unusual for a Lamonaco defense to allow them to be able to get on the edge. And you can see the blocking downfield. They're doing a really good job of turning the corner and giving their football team position, but there's going to be a penalty coming back.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Replay, second down.
The penalty flag and the description of the penalty brought to you by the United States Army. Flag on the play. Jeff Volpio has been very busy tonight. He's been on the air almost more than Jeff and I have. Which some people may not find a bad thing.
I was going to say.
7:09 to go in this second quarter. It's a 14-7 lead for Pickerington North. O'Connell will hand off. This is Michael Taylor trying to sweep to the far side and is shoved out of bounds. Dominic Shaw once again had him by the shoulder pads and just kind of gradually edged him out of bounds on that far sideline.
There's another example, though, of being able to get to the edge and continue to gain yardage while they're stretching the play. The goal of the defense is to make them run sideline to sideline. They're able to get upfield and controlling the edges right now. That's where the running attack is so good.
Play carried to the 18-yard line, where it will be a 3rd down and 5 upcoming for the North offense. And bouncing to the outside is Sam Williams-Dixon, and tripped up at the last moment as he started to sweep to the outside. An open field tackle, R.J. Holland, might have saved a touchdown right there for the Central defense.
Watch R.J. Holland, number 22, coming up to make the play. But again, good pressure on the edge. They're able to turn the play. But those are the kind of support plays you need from your safeties, your cornerbacks, being able to come up and make the play. 4th and about 2.
And the North offense will play here. Williams-Dixon gets the handoff, looks for a hole, and is brought down, did not get it. Great job defensively again. Patrick Carney coming up from his strong safety spot with the tackle, and the Tigers offense will come back. They get the ball courtesy of their defense on downs after an explosive first quarter. This game has settled down a little bit here in quarter number 2. We're almost halfway through. North leads Central 14-7. It's our Toyota Friday night
Toyota
rival.
Truck and SUV month, and with more to choose from than anyone else.
Your new Toyota will have you ready for anything.
Ready for a family adventure. Ready for a night out.
Your Toyota, your choice.
Now, during Toyota's Truck and SUV month, get 3.99 APR financing on the new aggressively sophisticated Toyota Highlander.
Or 4.99 APR financing on this electrified Highlander hybrid. Plus, get 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Toyota Truck and SUV month. The choice is yours.
Toyota, let's go places.
Central with the football as Kwan Alexander with the short carry. In fact, it was good enough for a first down. He was stumbling as he took that handoff, but was able to regain his balance and pick up the first down out to the 26-yard line. That first down, another Bowling Green State University first down. Williams will hand off inside, and dancing his way out across the 30-yard line is Aaron Heller, the 5'10", 205-pound senior. Heller in the game against Wayne a couple of weeks ago, 15 rushes, 65 yards, and what proved to be the game-winning score late in that game, but there is another flag down on the play. It's a motion call against the offense.
Illegal formation. Offense. Not in the play line of scrimmage. Penalty. Not enough. First down.
There you can see the conversation going on with Tavion Galloway talking with the official.
Pigskin action on a Friday night in Central Ohio. Nothing better. It's a great night for high school football. Could not have predicted a better. Well, Marshall McPeak and the weather staff, they always get it right. Jeff and I have absolutely no knowledge about things like that. But
we'll accept it.
Exactly. And Williams will keep the football, looking for running room, and is grabbed and brought down as he just managed to get across the 20-yard line, the sophomore quarterback, Rocco Williams. They've had some great quarterbacks at Central. One that comes to mind right away is Demetri Crenshaw, of course, who set a Ohio Division I state rushing record in the championship game a few years back, where he only scored 6 touchdowns in that game as they rolled to a state championship. They won 2 under Jay Sherritt.
Boy, state champions in 2017 and 2019, and runner-up to the state championship in 06, 11, and 2020.
High snap that Williams will pull down. The left-hander will throw, coming down to the near side, and the pass is juggled and caught, and then knocked out of bounds. What a spectacular catch, as that pass was juggled, then knocked away, and then hauled in, and a first down for Pickerington Central. That's another Bowling Green State University first down.
Well, the defensive back had no idea where the ball was. This ball is perfectly thrown by Rocco Williams. Watch again. He sees it, but the corner back there, the strong safety, Tank Washington, never got his head on a swivel looking back for the football. He was trying to read the eyes of the receiver, and that's a pretty good target to throw to right there.
Braylon Wells, the tight end, with that catch and run, and a first down as they move to the north 35-yard line. They pick up a 39. Bodies tumble all over the place as the ball is snapped. And right in the middle of that pile, big Ray Jackson, the 6'2", 335-pound center for the Central offense.
The illegal shift.
So
again.
Push them back 5. Well, we talked about referee Jeff Volpio getting a lot of airtime tonight. I don't know who's been busier, Jeff Volpio or our stat man, Jason Van, who's continually telling us about the penalties and adding them up and counting them up. There have been quite a few.
You know, penalties have really been an issue for Pickerington Central.
32.
You mentioned it. You mentioned it earlier.
Illegal shift. Offense. Multiple players in motion without resetting. 5-yard penalty. We play first down.
Here's a correction that's going to need to be discussed with the football team in the locker room at halftime. Shouldn't have these kinds of errors in week number 4.
Terrence Alexander takes the handoff and finds a gap and gets to the far side and then is dropped. It was a 1st and 15 call from the 40.
That's the 4th penalty on the game so far. 30 yards of penalties against Pickerington Central.
Out to the 35-yard line.
They'd like nothing more than to have a sustained drive like they did on their touchdown drive early in the football game, and it's runs like this that make it happen. You've got to be able to control the football. Terrence Alexander, not a big dude by any stretch at 5'10", 170 pounds, but he runs strong.
Another good tackle by Malachi Taylor. We've called his name a number of times tonight. He's made some big plays. They'll hand the football off, and here's some running room as working to the far side. As first touch of the night for Dayon Thompson-Green lining up in the backfield when they went with that bunch formation, the 6'1", 270-pound senior.
Look at that. Look at the size of that dude. 6'1", 270, and they gave him the football? Come on, that shouldn't be allowed. Nice job by Dayon Thompson.
Why shouldn't it be allowed?
Because he's too hard to tackle.
Oh, okay.
My goodness.
3rd down and 6 at the 31 for Central, and there's movement up front again, and this will give, if it's against North, it'll give Central a 3rd and 1 call, and it is against North.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense, number 8, 5-yard penalty.
I'll tell you what, if I'm
3rd down.
If I'm Coach Lamonaco, I'm bringing 5 back in the game and handing the big guy the ball.
They bunch the backfield, and this is a first down. This is Kwan Alexander to the 20-yard line.
Now, this is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Tigers, to be able to take that football and just control it for the balance of this second quarter. It's what they did in their drive early in the football game in the first quarter. Kind of been back and forth. The big plays obviously coming by way of Pickerington North, but Central now proving they can dominate this thing by controlling the football.
We approach 3 minutes left in this first half, and remember, Central won the toss. They'll get the football to start the second half.
Little jawing going on right now. Look at this conversation with the officials. They're better friends than they are enemies, guys. I want to just point that out to you down there.
First down, a Bowling Green State University first down, and breaking free is Heller to the 5, to the end zone, touchdown. Pickerington Central as Aaron Heller scoots in for the score from 20 out. And just like that, Pickerington Central goes back down the field. And they are within a point of tying this game here tonight, this annual get-together in Pickerington. That touchdown brought to you by Ramos Roofing for a free estimate on your roof.
Well, watch the move out here by number 4. Heller goes up and boom! He makes the hit. That is giving him a little sugar, taking it away and taking it directly into the end zone.
And
Extra
again,
point try.
Absolutely. Courtesy of our friends at Ramos Roofing. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. Carson Goulet with the extra point attempt. We are tied at 14. Aaron Heller, that's right. Be happy, young man. You've leveled the game. The Battle of Pickerington. Well, look at that shot. There is no need to wait to get the score of your favorite high school team. First Scores on Fox 28, sponsored by Columbus State Community College, has you completely covered, and that's tonight starting at 10 o'clock. First Scores on Fox 28. Our score here, 14-14. Your scoring summary brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of Franklin County. 7 plays, an impressive 85 yards, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Pickerington Central, Pickerington North, 14-14. Carson Goulet gets set to kick the football away. The deep back is Michael Taylor. And it will be Taylor racing up the field, this one on the run at the 16-yard line. Stutter steps for a moment and will be grabbed and brought down as a number of Pickerington Central Tigers on the coverage team were over there to make the stop. Dorian Smith, one of the first Tigers over there. And the North offense for head coach Nate Hillerich will come onto the field. It was interesting in talking to both coaches this week, Jeff. I asked them both about what this rivalry means and how intense it is, and both of them, I think, were pretty level-headed about it and really didn't try to make it more than it is, because you can't do that with a game like this.
Absolutely. You can overcook it and get your players to be just totally frozen and locked up over what they're trying to accomplish out there. These kids grew up knowing about the rivalry in youth football before they became 2 separate high schools when they grow up. These kids are all teammates with one another.
O'Connell off his back foot, hoisted out of bounds, far side.
Good decision by the senior quarterback to let that ball fly. Live another day.
Jeff mentioned it earlier, not only football for these 2 schools, but they have had a great deal of success in other sports. Mentioned the Pickerington Central basketball team won the state championship in Division I a couple of years ago. Runner-up this past year, Devin Royal. We talked about some of the Ohio State players. He's headed to play for Chris Holtman at Ohio State for the Buckeye basketball team. Hamilton, the ball carrier. Dorian Hamilton, the 5'8", 190-pound senior, gets out to the 38-yard line. And the amount of talent, we referenced it a short time ago, that has been generated by this district, and we'll keep it to football, it is just remarkable. Yeah. It really is.
There's no community, and I don't care if it's in Cincinnati, Cleveland, anywhere you go around the state of Ohio, where there's been more concentrated success moving on to the college football level.
3rd down and 4. Back to throw as O'Connell hit as he throws the pass off the hands of the intended receiver near side. That was Derek Ross Jr. trying to get the ball into his hands near side. O'Connell took a pretty good pop as he released that throw.
Well, he had to unload the football very quickly. Watch the pressure coming right up the middle. No opportunity to be able to look out a receiver, and feeling the pressure out there on the outside was Derrick Ross Jr. with his back to the defense. That's what's really tough for that back out of the backfield. But when he's got the back to his defense, has no clue. Now, 2:02 remaining. Plenty of time, 2 timeouts remaining for Pickerington Central, and a reminder that Pickerington Central will get the ball to start the third quarter. So they've got 2 drives back to back.
Absolutely. Malachi Evans was the Tiger with the pressure. A booming kick here by Bowman. That will take a nice bounce inside the 10, inside the 5, and it will be down to, well, no, they couldn't get to it. It will come out to the 20. But what a kick by Bowman. Line of scrimmage at 38. That was a 62-yard boomer, which will have the ball coming back out to the 20-yard line. Don't forget, coming up in just a couple of minutes, we'll go down to Kellyanne Stitz for the Music Go Around Coach's Corner to hear from the coach of the team who is leading this game right now because we're tied at 14 for his thoughts on the first half. 14-14, Pickerington Central and Pickerington North. How much fun has this been?
This has been great. This is a really good football game, as good as advertised. And I talked to some people leading into this week and knowing it would be a sellout and people were going to need to watch the game on TV if they couldn't get a ticket to be here. I believe this is the best game in the state of Ohio on Friday night here in September.
2 wides are flanked to the near side for the Tigers offense, and Rocco Williams, the sophomore quarterback, will look to throw and goes downfield, and the pass is incomplete as he was trying to get it out to Dominic Shaw. Rocco Williams, head coach Jeff Lamonaco says the one thing that really stands out about Williams, other than the fact that he sprouted 2.5 inches taller over the summer, the young man has a great arm, and you saw it right there.
Well, you also get a look there. I think Rocco Williams might make the all-mullet team. Look at that. Now, I shouldn't be doing hair jokes, all right?
No, if anybody
I'm the wrong
should
guy.
not be doing hair jokes.
But look at
right.
that. That is all mullet first team.
Jeff Logan very phonically challenged. Here's a handoff into the middle and spinning out near the 30 or the 25-yard line, rather, on the carry. They went back inside to the big man. For some reason, Jeff doesn't like it when Dayon Thompson-Green carries the football.
Well, I don't like it if I'm a defensive player, but I'll tell you what, I would like it if he was my fullback.
Absolutely.
And I was running behind him, but he is the short yardage guru, able to get the ball moved up. Going to have third down in about 7 here. This is a big conversion here for Pickerington Central.
On the season, 34% they convert. Here's Williams back to throw with a clean pocket. Looks long over the middle for 2 receivers and overthrows both of them.
But Marty, a little bit of an issue there with the routes. If you got 2 receivers running the same hash mark down there. Yeah. Watch when this, we've had a bunch of calls up front when the football's been snapped. There was motion, but no penalty called, and boom, we're throwing that ball all the way downfield. Nobody can get to it, bringing up a 4th down punt formation situation.
Logan Hicks on to kick it away. Wobbling kick that will take a central roll. And finally, Sam Williams-Dixon able to bounce out of the way of that one as it was coming right at him in the better part of valor to get out of the way. Under a minute to go in the first half, so stick around with us at the half for the Kitchen Saver halftime show. Discover the inspiring ways that teachers from Pickerington North and Pickerington Central high schools are helping students in school this year in the Ohio Education Association Educator Spotlight. Plus, we'll have scores for you from around Central Ohio. It all comes your way in moments on the Kitchen Saver halftime show. 14-14 is our score, under a minute left. The Pickerington North offense coming back onto the field. 7-5 last year went the Panthers. They were 3-2 in the OCC Ohio. Even though these schools are in the same district, they're in different divisions of the Ohio Capital Conference. This is a non-league game, oh, by the way. Both, however, are members of Region 3 of Division 1. And here's some running room as coming out across the 35-yard line is the bowling ball. Dorian Hamilton, the 5'8", 190-pound junior, was scattering pins as he carried across the 35 out to the 40 and a first down.
Yeah, the clock will stop momentarily while they reset the chains, and you can see Dorian Hamilton following his blocking. Good acceleration, and Pick North is taking a timeout. 53 seconds remaining here. That'll leave them with 1 timeout remaining in the first half of play.
When I was talking to Nate Hillerich, the North coach, earlier, we were talking about their running backs. You look at the numbers. Hamilton, 108 yards coming into the game. Michael Taylor, 210 yards. Sam Williams-Dixon, 311 yards coming in. Boy, you got to love that balance on offense running the football.
Well, you got 600-700 yards in your first 3 football games from that tailback spot. Now, it's 3 different guys. But that's one of the things that you do. You keep fresh legs out there, able to make big plays.
Central's defense, they have had some very good outings against the run this year. I mentioned that season opener against Liberty where they held the Patriots to minus 19 yards rushing. Last week they held Centerville, which is a run-oriented team, to 104 yards on the ground, although the Elks were able to light them up in the air to the tune of 222 yards. First down and 10, and this is Hamilton again getting to the outside and gets near the first down and might have it.
Clock will stop.
Yep, Jeff, the change will move. It is a Bowling Green State University first down.
46 seconds, as you see in the right corner there remaining. The clock will start as soon as they're set. Be able to save a timeout, but you got to get your quarterback in there to call that play and get moving.
Ball out to the midfield stripe. They'll hand it off again, and this is Hamilton again. He's got the touch, and he's got the feet, he's got the speed, and he's to the 30-yard line.
Now quickly, they need to get up to the line of scrimmage. This would be a good time to be able to just spike the football, not use your timeout, get everybody set. Officials will wait. Get up under center, and nope, they're not going to spike it apparently.
Gain of 19 for Hamilton. And with a timeout available, North will apparently take it.
Timeout. Pick Central.
Check it, it was a Pick Central timeout.
Wow.
Watch Dorian Hamilton, Jeff, break free here on this run.
Again, great blocking by that offensive line, running over the right side of Tim Grable, silence Blakely, and you can see him protecting the football. They're trying to strip it, but that is a great job of holding on to the football while you've got Tigers coming after you from every spot. Look at the arm tackles coming in, trying to strip the ball, and 23 just continues to move forward. You compared him to a bowling ball and just knocking pins down, and that's a pretty good explanation of what happens when 23 gets the football.
Amari Spivey was hanging on for dear life there as Hamilton was rumbling ahead. As we near the end of the first half, the game started with a cannon shot heard all across this part of the area on a 85-yard touchdown, pitch and catch, Landon O'Connell to Preston Bowman. But Central marched right back down the field to tie it up, and then courtesy of a long pass play to Preston Bowman, North went back down and took the lead. But then in the second quarter, after things had settled down a little bit in this game, Central put one of their typical clock-eating, yard-eating drives together, 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and they tied the game at 14, and that's where we stand with 31 seconds left.
Looks like they may be resetting the clock, possibly, trying to make sure they got everything correct.
Jeff, we talked about Central getting the ball to start the second half. Number one, how big would it be for them to get a stop here? Number two, how big would it be for North to get points right now?
Well, I think it's huge that North is able to at least get 3 points out of this, but one timeout remaining. They've got to be very, very careful. Pickerington Central taking that timeout, giving North a little bit of time to prepare them. I'm sure they've got 2 plays called from the sidelines right now.
O'Connell will hand off, and this is Hamilton again, and there he goes to the 20, to the 15. A nice little pirouette inside the 15 for a Bowling Green State University first down gain inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. How about that little spin move right in the middle of the field, and a quick first down, and the clock continues to spin as they race to the line of scrimmage. Ball's at the 13. They'll hand it off again, and this is Hamilton again. And Tavion Galloway able to shoot through the gap and make a big tackle right there for the Central defense.
Boy, how about this football team believing so much in their ability to run the football with a clock that is winding down.
That's their last timeout of the half.
Taking their last timeout. And I'll tell you what, they most teams are going to be throwing the football. They're trying to get the ball into the end zone, but they believe so much in their ability to be able to run the football. This was the play before where you got the big gain. And again, Dorian Hamilton taking care of the ball and getting it down inside the 15-yard line. The very last play, again, coming and you got pressure right up the middle, and you can see the great effort coming up on the defensive side. That was number 13. That's Tavion Galloway getting his shots on the defensive side.
15 seconds remain to be played in this first half. 22nd meeting between these two district rivals.
I think you got to throw the football here, Marty. I don't think you can take the risk.
Out of timeouts.
Yeah, out of timeouts, 15 seconds remaining. I doubt very seriously on a running play you're going to be able to get back to the line of scrimmage and be able to go again.
Michael Taylor is off to the left of the quarterback, O'Connell. And as he drops back to throw, again, we have whistles.
Got coaches on either side of us, and they're not very appreciative of what the officials are doing to the game tonight here in the first half. I think that would be the kindest thing that I just heard.
I would think so. Now I think we're ready to play with 15 seconds left. Good look at the senior O'Connell, 6'4", 215-pound senior, a 3-year starter. Throws towards the end zone now for Bowman. Oh, did he catch that? He did. Are you kidding me? Wow, what a catch by Preston Bowman. He's got the hat trick in the first half. His third touchdown, a 14-yard strike.
Look at the celebration going on there. This is just a lob throw back into the corner of the end zone, throwing to a spot. They're basically looking at that pylon back in the back corner of the end zone. Here's your quarterback, Landon O'Donnell. Ball is up in the air. And look at the separation. Little hand fighting going on. One-handed catch in the corner of the end zone. Look at this. What a great shot by our crew, but an even better catch. Oh, my goodness. What a night. Unbelievable.
And that was pretty good coverage as well, too, on the talented wideout for Bowman. Coming into the game, he had 2 touchdown receptions. He's got 3 in the first half of this game. Now, there was a penalty flag after the scoring, and I'm guessing it's on the celebration.
Score, we have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense number 76. The penalty to be enforced 15 yards from the 16 spot. Try.
Well, a game like this where extra points become measurable.
Enormous.
Right?
Right.
I mean, you don't want to have those kinds of mistakes. This will be a 35-yard extra point try.
Landon Grosh on to try it. 12 of 13 coming into the game. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it's a low liner that will sail into the band, and that's not where you're supposed to kick them. It went off to the left and under the crossbar. The snap, I think, threw that whole thing off there, and so the lead stands at 6 with 10 seconds left. Pickerington North with the lead at 20-14, but what a half by Preston Bowman. You can't take anything away from what that young man has done here in this first half. He has been sensational.
You don't mind if I dial up Brian Hartline right now, do you? This is a young man that needs to be in the shoe. My goodness.
Well, now, I would think he's already got his number.
Well, how about this? They get the play with 2:02 remaining in the half, and they're able to manage this. The scoring summary of 6 plays, 75 yards, 49 seconds.
Brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of Franklin County.
All right, Coach Hartline, let's go.
Jeff was actually dialing there a moment ago.
You know, the one-handed nature of that, being able to, you're allowed to hand fight a little bit back there as long as you're not just, gaining an advantage. And both guys were engaged in it, and I think it was a good no call by the official.
I would agree.
But with that left hand that was free, he was able to catch that football. And these are things these guys practice all the time. It is, they've got great athleticism, but again, the quarterback, the concentration of throwing that ball to that spot and having your receiver make the play, just terrific.
The defensive back, Aaron Malisi, he was right there. I mean, he had great coverage. Here's the kick, and this is a nice return for Central, spinning out across the 40-yard line. A good return out to the 45 with 3 seconds left in the half as Terrence Alexander dances, darts, finds a hole, accelerates through it, and a good return. And we'll see what the mindset of Jeff Lamonaco is with 3 seconds left in the half, and the ball will be spotted after the return at the 44-yard line. Preston Bowman, how about these numbers tonight? 4 receptions, 166 yards, and the trifecta, 3 touchdown receptions.
Pretty terrific.
Into the half formation for Pickerington Central, and that will do it for the first 2 periods of play. Preston Bowman, 3 touchdown receptions of Landon O'Connell throws. And the Panthers lead the Tigers 20-14 as the teams make their way towards the locker rooms here tonight at Panther Stadium at North. It has been an explosive, exciting, entertaining first 2 periods of football tonight here at North, with North leading 20-14. Kellyanne Stitz is with Nate Hillerich.
Coach Hilrich, Preston Bowman with a hat trick in the first half. Talk about the connection between him and O'Connell and what's working for you guys.
Yeah, he's making big plays, but I mean, we played a sloppy half. We had all kinds of penalties, didn't tackle well. We're going to have to play better against a team like this if we want to hold on to this win.
What will your message be to the team to help clean some of those up?
You know, we got to play disciplined football, pay attention to the details, do the little things right. If we do that, I think we can have some success.
A little bit of frustration there with that unsportsmanlike conduct at the end. Was that frustration with the call or with the player?
No, we got to be better. We got to, in a heated rivalry like this, we got to walk away. We got to be disciplined and not let those things affect us.
Awesome. Thank you so much and good luck.
Yep, thank you.
Guys.
Coach, no question right there. Very definition of a coach.
Exactly. Love the good stuff, but we got some things we're going to coach him up on in half number 2.
Exactly. We are at the half. It is Pickerington North and Pickerington Central. The Battle of Pickerington, 20-14. The Panthers lead the Tigers.
We can do.
You stay on here. I'll get you water.
Thank you. You rock. No, that's it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Get my water too while you're at it.
Outstanding. Sounds great.
Miss and Ohio.
I'm just kidding. No, you're right. I mean, Newark Catholic's got great tradition. I mean, that'll be the great thing about it. Their tradition and what it means. It'll be fun.
I would have thought last year's game would have been a little better than what it was too.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guys be. Thank you so much. So much you're done. Okay, feel free. Thank you for everything you guys do. Thank you for all the support. Thank you. Have a great time, Bernie.
Thank you. Hey, Jared. Jared,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we present our 2023 competition show, A Clash of Kings, where we let you, the audience, decide who is the true king. Is it Elvis, our reigning king of rock, or Michael Jackson of pop? Tonight, feature solos by Josh Brantley, Ryan Bowers, Caspian Keel, Bella Matney, Anthony Fan, Sanai Arthur, and Eva.
Welcome into the Kitchen Saver halftime show. Right now, Pickerington North leads Pickerington Central 20-14. I'm Kellyanne Stitz. The real MVPs of tonight's game are the talented educators who are pouring in to the student athletes who are playing in this game in the classroom. And every single week, the CW Columbus and the Ohio Education Association are teaming up to spotlight on outstanding educators across Ohio. In the Ohio Education Associator Educated Spotlight, let's take a look.
The Ohio Education Association and the CW Columbus are putting the spotlight on these exceptional teachers here in Columbus. Celebrating science teacher Marcy Truex from Pickerington North and American Sign Language teacher Carrie Corbar from Pickerington Central. Educating kids is Marcy's passion, as she loves each kid and makes each of her students feel loved.
I care about those kids. I mean, I have pictures all over my walls of all the kids I've ever had because I want them to know that they're loved and that they matter. And if to no one else, they matter to me. And I want them to have that sense of somebody cares about me.
Carrie believes knowing American Sign Language is a high-value skill. She loves it most when a student tells her they used her teachings outside the classroom.
I have students all the time come in and they're so excited because at work they ran into somebody who was deaf, or in the community or at the gas station, and they were able to help them out. So to me, it's just so meaningful and it's so real. I mean, there are so many deaf people in this country, and so my students all the time are using their skills in real life, and that's just so rewarding for them and for me.
Congratulations to these outstanding educators and all the hard work they do for the future of Ohio.
Congratulations to Marcy and Carrie for being the Educators of the Week. And now coming up, a competition like no other. Right now it's time for the Safe Flight Mascot Challenge. Check it out.
Welcome everyone to the Safe Light Mascot Challenge right here on the CW Columbus. All right then, let's meet the contestants. Jaguar, Bear, Cardinal, Dog, and Good Day Columbus's own Muggsy. This week's challenge, the pass. First up, Jaguar. And down goes Jaguar. Took the snap right off his head. Jaguar getting a second chance and, wow, nice toss. Cardinal's turn. As always, he's chirping. And what a throw! All the way into the end zone. Bear is up next. Bear is certainly down for a win, but not quite far enough. Dog, directing traffic. Ooh, Dog is ballin', but that won't get it done. Last up, Muggsy. Oh, he slings it down the field. It's got a chance, but wait a second. Huh, Cardinal intercepts Muggsy. What a turn of events, folks, as the crowd goes wild. That means this week's big winner is Cardinal. Congratulations, Cardinal. Tune in next week for another exciting Safe Flight Mascot Challenge on the CW Columbus. No mascots were harmed in the making of this video.
The Mascot Challenge is top tier entertainment in my books. And right now, you are watching the Kitchen Saver halftime show. It continues after the break. Again, host Pickerington North leads rival Central 20-14, and we'll have your scores from across Central Ohio coming up after the break.
Welcome back to our Kitchen Saver halftime report. We are at Panther Stadium in Pickerington for the annual showdown between the Panthers of Pickerington North and the Tigers of Pickerington Central. And it has been a fun first half of football, with Pickerington North holding the 6-point lead at 20-14 over their cross-district rivals from Pickerington Central. As always, a busy Friday night. We update you on scores. City League matchup, Walnut Ridge and Afrocentric near the intermission, but the Scots on top of the Nubians by a 6-0 score in that game. Bloom Carroll will see the Bulldogs in a couple of weeks, the defending runner-up in Division III. They lead Amanda Clear Creek 20-7 as that game nears the intermission. Central Crossing and Grove City. There are a number of rivalry games on tap for tonight. Of course, this is another one. Grove City leading its cross-district rival 28-0 as that game nears the intermission. Fairfield Union and Hamilton Township. The Rangers on top 17-14 as that game nears the intermission in a mid-state league tussle. Groveport Madison, a 13-7 lead over the Cougars of Westland. That game also nearing the intermission tonight. Another district rivalry game. We saw Hilliard Davidson last week. The Wildcats, very impressive. They're blanking Darby as they near the intermission, 21-0 in that get-together. And another district rivalry matchup, Dublin-Kaufman, the Shamrocks and the Celtics. And the Shamrocks have a 21-7 lead as that game also being played in the second quarter in Dublin tonight. A busy Friday night of scores. Another interesting matchup here between two pretty good football teams, Marysville and Hilliard Bradley, and they are level at a touchdown apiece. That game also in quarter number 2 on this Friday night. Oh yes, there's one more district rivalry in case you were asking. Olentangy Orange. The Pioneers lead the Braves of Olentangy 10-7. That game also in quarter number 2. Thomas Worthington and Newark. Tight one as they near the intermission with Newark on top 14-13. The Newark Wildcats trying to get their program turned back around. Thomas Worthington, we saw the Cardinals earlier this season. They have some talent on that squad, and down by just a point as that game nears the intermission. Here it's 20-14. Pickerington North leads Pickerington Central. Our Toyota Friday Night Rivals continues here at the intermission.
This one 86, 85.
85.
Thank you.
His offers are Kentucky, Marshall, Bowling Green, UMass, and Kent State.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Matt, come on.
The Ohio Education Association is proud to recognize Central Ohio's Scholar Athletes of the Week. Dominic Shaw has lettered all 4 years in football and lacrosse at Pickerington High School Central. He has been captain for both teams. Dominic is all Central District in football and all region in lacrosse. He's taking multiple AP and CC Plus classes. He carries a 4.0 GPA. Dominic volunteers with Urban Lacrosse, which gives underprivileged kids a chance to play. Erin Piekenbrock is a 4-year volleyball letter winner at Pickerington High School North. Besides playing volleyball, she's also involved with track and field and is on the swimming team. Erin is taking multiple AP, CCP, and honors courses and has a 4.1 GPA. When she's not playing sports or studying, Erin volunteers her time at youth camps. Congratulations to these outstanding Ohio Education Association scholar athletes.
Rivalry games are supposed to be entertaining and fun. This one has certainly lived up to its advanced billing, as we're at the half with Pickerington North leading Pickerington Central by the score of 20-14 on our Friday night Toyota Rivals matchup. Jeff Logan, Marty Bannister. Was it fun in the first half, or did I miss anything?
No, it was fun. And again, we talked about the fact that there are so many skilled athletes and so many Division I kind of kids here that we're going to see playmakers, and that's exactly what we saw tonight.
And this game started out with a bang right away when Pickerington North one play and they got the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they did. This is right after a delay of game, and they're able to throw the ball and go and 85 yards. And this is just the beginning of the Preston Bowman show.
And it was impressive in the first half for the young man. But Pickerington Central, they answered, and that was big for them in the first half.
They were the K1 Alexander, just that big offensive line leading the charge, got him right back on the scoreboard with a long clock-eating drive.
Oh, but there's that guy Bowman again.
Oh, yeah. Just by the way, throw it up again and watch number 1 make the play. Touchdown number 2 for Preston Bowman on the night.
But Pickerington Central said, not so fast, my friend. Yep. We can score too.
They're going to hand the ball to number 4. Aaron Heller takes it into the end zone. How good is this? Makes the move out there, breaking ankles. I love it.
And in case you thought Preston Bowman was done in the first half, hang on a second. Watch this.
This might have been the most spectacular of the 3. One-handed catch in the end zone with almost no time remaining in the first half. What a great drive. And as good as Preston Bowman was, how about the job by O'Connell at quarterback? He was terrific so far this evening.
That young man was just silly good in the first half, wasn't he? Landon O'Connell and Preston Bowman. There you see the first half math. The number's very impressive. North churning out a lot of yards, but only up by 6.
Yeah, 326 yards of total offense, but the one thing that they've got to work on are the total on the penalties. 4 for Central, 7 penalties, and we talked to Coach Hillerich on the way out, and that is an issue that they have to get fixed.
And keep in mind, Central will get the ball to start the second half when play resumes with the score 20-14 as they trail, as this game is at the intermission tonight here at Panther Stadium. What a great atmosphere. What a great night for high school football in Central Ohio. We've enjoyed it in the first half. Don't go anywhere. There's a great second half coming up on our Toyota Friday Night Rivals.
Is directed by Faith Burnham.
20 seconds. Welcome back, Coach Lamonaco. Right now, your team trails by 6. It's an emotional game, back and forth rivalry game. What was your message to the guys at the half?
Just keep fighting. Keep fighting. They got a really good receiver that's hitting us pretty good right now. He's excellent. And they're a good team. So it's a lot of fun, but we got to keep fighting and take care of our stuff.
What would
Make a couple adjustments.
What are some adjustments you feel like you need to make in the second half?
I might need to get help over top of that guy.
Yeah.
You know, we got to stop the run a little bit better in lighter sets and just tackle better.
You get the ball back to start the second half. What would you like to see out of your guys coming out of the gate?
I like to see our offense keep doing what they're doing. You know, moving the ball down the field and don't get any penalties.
Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thanks.
Guys.
Kellyanne, thank you. Jeff Lamonaco in his first go-around as the head coach at Pickerington Central. Of course, any part of Friday night football in any part of the state of Ohio is, of course, high school marching bands. And as we come back from the break, we will look at the Pickerington Central Marching Tigers. This sneak peek is sponsored by Music Go Round Marching Band Sound. Check out any of their locations, 2630 Bethel Road and in Gahanna inside the Stone Ridge Plaza. The Marching Tigers. We close in on the start of the second half with the score 20-14. Pickerington North leading Pickerington Central. Jeff Lamonaco, I thought, Jeff Logan, his point about we just got to keep an eye on that guy. Certainly that's one guy you got to keep an eye on. There are a lot of weapons on that North team, but I think this first drive of the second half, very big in this game.
Yeah, their problems have not been on the offensive side. You know, when they've been controlling the football, been able to run the ball, they can't give up the big plays. It reminiscent of Ohio State's defense the last couple of years with giving up those home run balls, all right? And so one of the things that they have to do, they got to get help over top is what he told Kellyanne Stitz. What they mean by that is they're going to have coverage underneath on number one, but they're also going to have to take a safety and roll that safety to that third of the field wherever one is lined up. Now that's going to open up opportunities for other receivers for Landon O'Connell to be able to go to. There's your quarterback right there on the sideline. Big 6'4" kid that can see the field. He's going to have to maybe find somebody else and not have his favorite target be his number one guy.
But that's the danger, isn't it, of defending this North team. Certainly Bowman is a guy you're going to have to keep an eye on. But when you've got the 3 running backs that they have, and there's some other guys to get the football to as well for Pickerington Central, you can't have a lapse defensively.
Well, when you look at the balance of what they've done in the first half, it's amazing. 326 yards of total offense, 141 on the ground, 185 throwing the football. That is great balance for Pickerington North.
Pickerington North will kick the football away, and our second half kickoff is sponsored by MakeItMakeSense.org. Scan the QR code on the screen to get youths and adults the help they need to quit smoking and vaping. We get ready for the second half. This annual showdown, the 22nd meeting between these two district rivals, separated by about 10 minutes or so. Refugee Road and State Route 256 here on the southeast portion of Columbus. Here's the opening kick to the near side. It's Terrence Alexander for Central. That's the 35. Ooh. It takes a pretty good pop as he's knocked out of bounds to the near side. And the Central offense will start in relatively good field position, Jeff Logan, at their own 37.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, normally that's not going to work if you take the ball and try and go that wide around the corner, but what great speed shown there by Terrence Alexander, being able to turn the corner, and he put his team in position with great field position right at the 37-yard line.
Let's see how the sophomore quarterback Rocco Williams handles things here in half number 2. Decent numbers in half number 1 for Williams.
Yeah, 6 out of 9 throwing for 83 yards. No touchdowns, obviously. They had the 2 rushing scores, and that leaves us at 20-14 with the missed extra point.
First play from scrimmage coming up here for Central. Rocco Williams with K1 Alexander in the backfield, and Alexander gets the touch and able to wiggle his way through a hole and sweep to the far side and get out to the 37-yard line, but there's another flag down.
Another illegal shift going against Pickerington Central. They are doing something that is not sitting well with this officiating crew, and I would have thought that offensively.
Illegal shift. Offense, 2 players in motion at once. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
That will move the ball back to the 37-yard line as we start here in the second half. We're pleased to have in the booth with us our friend Matt Habash from That's the folks teaming up with us as president and CEO of the Mid-Ohio Food Collective and visits with us here in the booth. Number one, you couldn't have come on a better night, could you?
This is amazing football. These guys are awesome.
We'll talk to Matt here coming up in a moment. 1st and 15 for Central as they scrimmage. And again, in a 20-14 game, handoff goes to Alexander, who almost lost the football, gets tripped up in the backfield. And again, the score here, 20-14, and Matt Habash visits with us here at the intermission as we go into the second half here. And Matt, talk about the problem that hunger presents. It's not only an Ohio problem, it's a nationwide problem these days, isn't it?
Nationwide, folks are struggling. We thought after the pandemic things would start to come back, but people were struggling coming out of the pandemic, and then the inflation hit and all the cost of housing, all the issues there. So we're seeing 40% more people today than we saw at the peak of COVID.
Is that what Hunger Action Month is all about, to get that word out?
Absolutely. It's to raise the awareness and then ask people to get involved. Get involved with your local food pantry. Get involved with the food bank. We have a farm. We have a kitchen. A lot of opportunities.
We are certainly here in Pickerington tonight as Central scrimmages here, and another great defensive play by the North defense as they come racing in. As I mentioned, being here tonight, but the need for help for folks is everywhere, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think we too often don't think about the suburbs of Central Ohio, but when you think we got pantries in Dublin, the pantry in Hilliard that had the fire, Worthington, Westerville, Pickerington. We're going to open a new facility not that far away from here to really help address the need in these areas as well.
Is there a way to get a number as to how many folks the Mid-Ohio Food Collective helps?
And annually, it's over 600,000 unique individuals get help. We have a 20-county footprint. I grew up in Steubenville, so we go all the way to eastern Ohio, but most of that's right here in Central Ohio.
Now, of course, being more than just a food bank, you do so many other things as well, too. Why don't you tell us about those?
Yeah, and we changed, our direction a little bit to the Mid-Ohio Food Collective because we also cook food. We do after-school meals, summer feeding. We've got 2 farms, that are going to be up and running. We have a brand new one on the hilltop. We've got a new Mid-Ohio market strategy. That's what's opening up. We've got a great one in Reynoldsburg. Was our very, first one to open up. So it really is a recognition that we want people to take the stigma of asking for help, recognizing this is what people need. Let's help them. This community is amazing and responding, and we appreciate that very much.
Pickerington Central punting the football away after unable to convert a first down and a bouncing kick fielded by North, and their offense will come back onto the field. You mentioned those numbers a moment ago, and that's a disturbing number, isn't it?
When I started in 1984 doing this job, and my goal was to go out of business. And unfortunately, we've gotten bigger and bigger as we've seen everybody struggle across the economy. They talk about half of America can't pay a $1,000 emergency bill out of savings. There's a lot of people living on the edge that need help.
Matt, if folks want to get involved with the Mid-Ohio Food Collective, how can they do that?
The easiest thing is go to our website, mofc.org. Pretty simple. And there's a way to volunteer, donate, get involved. And I encourage people to do it. Do it in your own local community as well. Every one of the communities have a pantry, across all over Ohio. There's a way for everybody to help, and I really appreciate the opportunity to get the word out through games like this, which is an amazing football game.
Central with the football. This is Sam Williams-Dixon north of the football, rather. Sam Williams-Dixon tries to get out of a couple of tackle attempts. He busts out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Matt, as we wrap it up, and we, again, appreciate your time here today. It's both, I guess, sad and disturbing all at the same time that this is an issue that it is right now these days.
It is. I mean, it's hard to celebrate a food bank and the success of a food bank. In reality, we've had help. The Logan Foundation has helped us. We've had a lot of help from a lot of people. But it's one of these things that, look, this is our neighbors. This is our family. This is our friends who we go to church with. So it's those folks that need our help.
I think one of the things we noticed, you mentioned the Logan Family Foundation trying to help, is that it's not just the poor communities. It is the perceived wealthy communities that still have this big challenge. And whether you've got capital in terms of money to contribute or human capital in terms of volunteering, we need your help, correct?
Yes, we need thousands of volunteers every day. We packing food, getting food out, working at the food pantry. So we need all the help. So if people have time, we would love them to get involved.
Well, thanks for your good service, my friend.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
and a reminder that the CW Columbus, along with ABC6 and Fox 28, teaming up with the folks at the Mid-Ohio Collective during this September Hunger Action Month. Matt Habash, a pleasure. Thanks for coming over. And again, you picked a good night to come over.
This is one of the best football games.
Stay here and watch.
Matt, thanks very much. We appreciate your time.
Chop block. Offense, 51-76. 15-yard penalty.
Yuck.
Second down.
Chop block. That's not what you want to see. That is where a offensive lineman is engaged with a defensive lineman generally, and then somebody comes from the side and blocks them below the waist. So not a good thing. 7 penalties in that first half for Pickerington North. for a total of 45 yards. And we heard Nate Hillerich talk to Kellyanne Stitz on the way out that he was not thrilled with that number.
North facing a 2nd and 24, the ball back at their 32, and they'll hand it off. And this Williams-Dixon trying to get to the near side and is knocked down as he tried to turn the corner, but was just unable to do so. As Dominic Shaw, who has had a heck of a football game tonight, came racing in to stop Williams-Dixon from generating additional yardage.
I was really interested in seeing this young man. I knew about all of his stats before he got down into Pickerington, but how about the use of the stiff arm there? Looking like Jim Brown coming around the corner and just leveling a defensive back. I think this kid's got a bright future, and I'm glad he has selected the Ohio State University.
Ball out to the 36. It's Williams-Dixon again. Starts inside, darts outside, and has the edge. And there he goes. A flag is down, though, and this one may be coming back. I tell you what, the explosiveness of this young man. Starts a little inside, says, nope, let's go back to the outside. And unfortunately, though, it's coming back, a holding call.
Boy, there's been a lot of them. We've talked about the ability for the North Panthers to be able to get to the edge and turn the corner. And that may have been where the hold was. So a lot of times getting to the edge, you got to grab some jersey along the way.
Holding. It's number 76. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Penalty flag sponsored by the U.S. Army. Jeff, you hear this term used so much about running backs, great vision. Take us through that. What does that mean, a running back with great vision?
Well, you got to make sure you got your head up and you are allowing things to happen in front of you and reacting to what's there and not making the decision based upon some preconceived read. Use your vision, be able to adjust to the scene that's happening in front of you. And if you have to think about it, it's too late. It's got to happen very quickly.
We talked about the first half that Preston Bowman had catching the football. He had a 62-yard punt in the first half and gets off a good one here. But the return man for Central, Deuce White, went down to a knee to field that kick, and that's where the ball will be downed, and that's where Central will get the football with 7:32 to go, quarter number 3. Pickerington North, Pickerington Central, the annual get-together for bragging rights in Pickerington. North leads Central 20-14. It's our
Every
Toyota.
new Toyota is built for you.
Your adventure, your commute.
Your style, your comfort, your choice.
Now during Toyota's Truck and SUV Month, choose from our extensive lineup of the longest-lasting vehicles out there.
Like the best-selling Tacoma, as comfortable off the road as it is on.
Now get 3.99 APR financing on a rugged new Tacoma, plus 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Toyota Truck and SUV Month. The choice is yours. Toyota, let's go places.
K1 Alexander with the football for Pickerington Central. And from the line of scrimmage, the 16, Alexander carries out to the 22-yard line. Pickup of a half dozen for K1 Alexander. Coming into the night, 213 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns on the season. Went over the 100-yard mark.
Play, dead ball, personal foul, defense number 4. 15-yard penalty, result of the play, first down.
Kelly Jackson, the corner, guilty of that personal foul for North, so that adds to the gain of 6 for K1 Alexander, moves the ball out to the 38-yard line, so it ends up overall being a gain of 22. And the first down, ball moved out to the 38-yard line.
Yep. Unbalanced line coming this way, and we're going to have another encroachment. And again, it's going to be Angelo McCullum right up the middle.
That first down a moment ago, a John Hinderer dealer's first down for the Central offense. And again, we're going to hear from who has become our good friend tonight, referee Jeff Volpio. Jeff will want a headset here before the night's over.
Prior to the snap, dead ball, encroachment, defense, number 94, 5-yard penalty. After that act, we had another dead ball, personal foul, defense number 94, 15-yard penalty. Result of the penalties, first down.
Talk about losing your composure down there. Officials are trying to control this football game, but obviously there's a lot going on, and you can see the frustration of 94. McCullum.
Double indemnity right there. 10 penalties, 80 yards now for Pickerington North as they carry that time a short game for the Central offense. That was
the two teams coming into tonight's ball game. It was Pickerington Central that was struggling more
32,
with penalties than Pickerington North. Very uncharacteristic.
Ball moved ahead to the 38. Williams will hand off. And again, trying to find, what a nice move as he tried to get to the edge and turns back inside Terrence Alexander, and he is tossed out of bounds to the near side by Tyson Long. But what a move. We get a chance to show you this. Watch that little zip move as he made that little whoop on the inside, and away he went.
Boy, that is a touchdown-saving tackle, no question about it, by Tyson Long. But again, why not? I mean, really.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, do we really have to call him on every play, guys?
Holding. Offense, number 51. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
You got the left tackle. We're going to get a good view right bottom of your screen, 51. See there, he just kind of buried him to the ground and must have looked like a tackle to the official, not a pancake block. But they did call it, and it will bring it back to about the 48-yard line. And Marty, that'll bring up second and about 18.
Jeff, you hear the old adage, you could call holding on just about every play.
They're trying. Just for the record.
Here's Rocco Williams back to throw and has time over the middle, and a receiver wide open who makes the catch and spins free at the 5 and cruises into the end zone. Deuce White with the touchdown. And Pickerington Central can take the lead with a successful extra point.
And he's got a cramp in the end zone, but he waited until he got across the goal line to collapse in the end zone. Sharon White Jr., he goes by Deuce. That is his first touchdown of the season. Wide open down the middle. Found the seam. And you can see here, able to break the tackle and get into the end zone. And then look at this. Man, that leg is cramped up and he's going down.
A scoring strike from Rocco Williams to Sharon White Jr.
What do you do here? It looks like...
Yeah, he is
it's going to be
obviously flat of his back in the end zone as they come out and tend to him. Jeff, that's another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. We are tied at 20.
Remember, we had the missed extra point by Pickerington North after they were penalized and had to try a 35-yard extra point. As you see, Deuce White making his way to the sideline.
And you mentioned it, Jeff, on that missed extra point. The first thing you said was that could loom large in this game. And right now, if this one is successful by Carson Goulet, Central will have its first lead of the night. Terrence Alexander will hold. Good look right there from the end zone camera. The kick is up, and that extra point attempt puts Pickerington Central ahead. 6:19 to go, third quarter. The Tigers have taken the lead over the Panthers as Rocco and it has been a fun one tonight. 21-20. Pickerington Central leads Pickerington North. Welcome back to Toyota Friday Night Rivals. Marty Bannister, Jeff Logan, Kellyanne Stitz with you tonight. There is your scoring summary brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of Franklin County. 4 plays, 84 yards, a very economical 1 minute and 13 seconds for the Pickerington Central offense to take the lead for the first time tonight at 21-20. Preston Bowman will be back deep. He has had a heck of a night. Also back deep is Michael Taylor. And this will be fielded far side by Sam Williams-Dixon as he slides down to the field turf to field that kick. And the North offense will come back onto the field staring at a deficit for the first time in tonight's game. No need to wait to get the score of your favorite high school team. First Scores on Fox 28 is sponsored by Columbus Day Community College, and it has you completely covered tonight, starting at 10 o'clock promptly. Well, let's see how North can answer now for the first time. Looking at the bottom end of the scoreboard, down 21-20.
Quite a night for Landon O'Connell. First half, 7 out of 11 for 185 yards and 3 touchdown passes.
And he'll look to throw. Steps up into the pocket, fires a dart to the middle of the field. The pass is caught. Derrick Ross Jr. breaks out of the pack, and there he goes. He's to the midfield stripe. He's in central territory, being chased by Shaw, who trips him down at the last moment. But again, they go to the air, and again, the big strike offense comes up with a big play, and they promptly move into central territory at the 35.
What a throw by Landon O'Connell. Good route by the receiver, but man, this is a tight window, under pressure, steps up into the pocket, gets knocked down, but he's able to watch the result of the play and celebrate. They've got it 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
45-yard pitch and catch. There was a halt for a moment after the play, but we're all squared away now. Ball up to the 35, and that is a John Hinderer's dealer first down for the North offense, and they will try to run the football this time, and there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on in the middle of the field right there as Aaron Heller was in the middle with the stop for the Central defense.
Heller playing that running back position as well as linebacker. 7 tackles last week in their game. He's a pretty good football player,
sure
5'10", 205.
We touched on it earlier. Both these teams have played challenging schedules to this point of the season. Back to throw is O'Connell down the far side sideline. Again, it's a jump ball. And did Preston Bowman do it again? No, he was out of bounds. But still, that was a sensational catch by this young man. But he was out of bounds, unfortunately, along the far side sideline.
Yeah, really good job of defense there, using the sideline as your helper. This ball is thrown where only the receiver can get to it, but obviously not able to come down in bounds. But another terrific catch. Boy, you talk about high point in the football. He is as good as anybody, and we nearly got a photographer down there at the end.
The 6-foot junior has had offers from the likes of Bowling Green, Kentucky, Kent State, Marshall, and UMass, but I would have to think if anybody's watching tonight, that might go up a notch or two. O'Connell hit as he throws it, almost intercepted. Aaron Heller had that ball right in his mitts and could not hang on to it as O'Connell was hit as he went to throw, and almost a big break for Central.
Well, I saw maybe the worst hold of the night. Watch the top of your screen. You can see the tackle being made right here to save the life of his quarterback, and it's the way it would go tonight. When I see a hold, no flags. Holy smokes. See O'Connell gets hit from the blind side there. Left tackle not able to protect him.
4th down and 8 for North with the ball at the Central 33-yard line. They will scrimmage. O'Connell's back to throw. Steps up into the pocket, delivers over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. And a flag comes in afterwards.
Wow.
You see the defensive back, Patrick Carney, the strong safety.
Officials communicating. Patrick Carney going palms up back there. He thought his coverage was solid.
Jeff Volpio discussing things with one of the
captains
for Pickerington North. Discussion continuing. So this could be a big part of this game right now. It was 4th and 8. It will be a first down. A John Hinderer's dealer first down for the North offense with 5:13 to go. There you see Nate Hillerich intently waiting for some sort of resolution to this conversation.
I don't know if they're discussing if the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage or something. Possibly.
Jeff LaMonaco as well, waiting to find out the resolution to this.
They're bringing the ball back.
Maybe the pass was touched at the line of scrimmage. If that's the case.
No, they're marking. Looks like they're going to go ahead and mark the 10 off from here. But you know, a lot of the people in this sold-out stadium are running easy right now, and I think more so because of how this has slowed the game down. And we'll see if the ball gets tipped. It didn't look to me
it didn't look that
like
way.
it got tipped. And there's the call. Now, it may be a targeting.
I was just going to ask you, Jeff, could that be targeting?
It may be targeting where you had a defenseless player. Let's see what they do.
Pass interference.
Okay.
Defense. The distance, a 15-yard penalty, result of the play is a first down.
Yeah, I think they may have been looking at targeting there, but they had also an interference.
So that moves the ball up to the 18-yard line after everything is sorted out. So it's a first down and 10 now for the North offense. And they'll hand the football off, and hesitating, accelerating, and then being dropped was Michael Taylor. Taylor, the 5'10", 195-pound junior. Had a big game at Elder down in the pit, ran for 100 yards on 6 carries. And Jeff talked about him being a home run hitter a little earlier. He hit a big home run that night, went 80 yards for a score in that win. Tell you, anytime you go down to Cincinnati and play high school football in some of those stadiums, you win a game in the pit, you've done something.
You've done pretty good. There's no question about it. Tough to take a team on the road, go down there and play. Here's your quarterback setting things.
2nd down and 7 call upcoming. O'Connell back to throw. Chase is on. He'll off towards the end zone to the near side, and the pass sails out of bounds. A.J. Miller, the tight end, was the intended receiver. That pass sailed out of bounds.
A.J. a pretty good target out there at 6'4", 225 pounds. Only 2 catches coming into tonight's ball game. Does a really good job in the run game. Very effective blocker.
Jeff, let's talk about the line of scrimmage. What have you seen up there tonight that stands out about this game? How has that been a big part of this one?
Well, both teams have been able to establish the run, and a lot of it has to do with the great running backs that both of these programs have. But the offensive lines are doing a pretty good job.
O'Connell hands off now. This is Michael Taylor, breaks free, scoots and scores. Michael Taylor. We talked about a home run hitter that time. He was able to shoot one through the gap right there and runs in for the score from 15 yards out. And Pickerington North, after falling behind for the first time, retakes the lead.
Well, that's the future of your running attack as you go forward, because the other 2 guys are seniors. Michael Taylor, just a junior running back. Again, execution. Marty, you talked about the offensive line. There's not big holes there, but they are controlling the white jerseys as they go through there, giving the opportunity for Michael Taylor to make it work.
That's another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. 26-21, the Pickerington North lead. And the Panthers are going to play for 2 here.
Would appear.
They empty the backfield as far as the quarterback is concerned. They were going out of the Wildcat formation. Can the Panthers go out of a Wildcat? Is that allowed?
You've got to be kidding me. Not a delay
Dead
game.
ball. Ball start. Offense number 55. Retry down.
That was the center, Peyton Schultz.
Looked like confusion down there as to what formation they wanted to be in, and the offensive staff working feverishly on the sidelines for Nate Hillerich.
So the try for 2 coming up. This to put North ahead by 7. O'Connell's back into the game. Looks to throw into the end zone, and the pass is incomplete off the hands of Derek Ross Jr. The incomplete pass keeps the lead at 5 for Pickerington North.
Yeah, just a touch high on the throw, but those are balls that you would expect Derek Ross was going to 50-50 kind of balls. It looked like he had an opportunity to be able to catch that ball, but it came in hot. I mean, that ball was coming with some heat.
Down to the sidelines, and let's check in with Kellyanne Stitz, who has a very special guest right now.
Guys, this big rivalry game, it's no surprise, it's bringing lots of people here to Pickerington North, including former Buckeye wide receiver and Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes. Santonio, you're originally from Florida, but you made the Buckeye State your home. Why come check out this one tonight?
Oh, man, this is a great rivalry, and I definitely want to watch some great high school football, and what better place to come than Pickerington to watch Pick North versus Pick Central.
Have you liked what you've seen so far in this one?
Oh my God, the teams are scoring, like crazy right now. I would love to see some more defense so that we can stop the scoring, stop the bleeding on both sides of the ball. But I'm loving the way that the wide receivers are going up and competing and making big plays, and the running backs are really running tough for both sides.
Yeah, how about Pickerington North's wide receiver #1 making some incredible catches?
Oh man, I got a chance to catch that touchdown on film. I was playing around with my phone and happened to have it on right at that time, so I was able to catch it and watch it on film.
And how about this atmosphere right here?
It's a beautiful place to be, and being in high school football, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now on a Friday night than watching high school football.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Santonio.
Thank you.
Guys.
Turn here by Deuce White as he was able to cut through a gap and shoot ahead. A guy who knows a little bit about separating and scoring, Santonio Holmes. And good to see him here tonight watching this one this evening as we see the score at 26-21. The Ohio State connection with these two schools, this makes Jeff Logan smile the moment it popped up onto the screen because it means that his alma mater is getting some pretty good players, Jeff.
Well, there's some guys that have been distracted and gone north of the border, but these are the guys that have stayed home, and they've made a big deal out of it. So really some great players. Max Lamonaco, the son of the head football coach, currently on the roster as a long snapper.
You still can't say it, can you?
Nope.
Ball's at the 37. The first play from scrimmage is a handoff that will get a yard. It was funny because in talking to both head coaches this week, as you see the scoring summary, brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health of Franklin County, 6 plays, 80 yards, $157. Both head coaches referred to the other team as their rival.
They didn't mention me either,
They didn't mention it either.
Yeah.
Couldn't mention it either.
Well.
Approaching 3.5 to go in the third quarter. It's been a fun one tonight. High snap that Williams pulls down and evading some pressure in the backfield for a moment. And then making something out of nothing right there was Aaron Heller.
You see Cam Butler-Woods just blitzing through there from that middle linebacker position. Had 3 tackles for a loss coming into the game tonight, and he was able to slow down big number 4, Aaron Heller. But it takes more than just a little bump to be able to take down the big guy.
Play carried out to the 41, a pickup of 4. We showed you those Ohio State players, the connection to Ohio State from these two high schools, and it really is remarkable when you look at it, and that just shows you the strength of Ohio State's ability to recruit Jeff Logan, knowing they've got players in their backyard that are more than capable of stepping in and filling holes. Back to throw Williams, and he's hit in the backfield, evades one tackle momentarily, running for his life, throws the ball ahead, and it's caught to the far side. This is White to the midfield stripe, down the sideline. How about Rocco Williams saving the Tigers there with his athletic ability? Took a pretty good shot as he made that pass attempt, but got the ball into the hands of Sharon White Jr., and it ends up being a first down. Rocco Williams with a sensational play.
It really was. Just a sophomore quarterback, and look at the athleticism here. Unbelievable that he's able to still get this ball turned around. He got nailed when he threw the football, and able to find his receiver Deuce out there, who came back, and the Pickerington Central Tigers are on the roll.
Jeff, that was Angelo McCullum who elevated Rocco Williams off of his feet as he made that throw. That was a lot of high school senior going after a high school sophomore right there, in a heck of a play. Out to the 44-yard line of North. Handoff inside now. Anthony Madison trying to get to the edge and is knocked out of bounds. Madison had not played until tonight's game, and they were kind of counting on him to be one of their go-to guys in the backfield. And it's good to see that young man back onto the field for Pickerington Central. Jeff Lamonaco, defensive coordinator for many, many years at Pickerington Central. It was interesting, Kellyanne Stitz was talking about spending some time with Jay Sherritt, the longtime Central head coach, who just kind of decided to remove himself almost entirely from what's going on. And I know he and his wife are watching the game tonight, so Coach, we appreciate you checking in. Always enjoyed our conversations with Jay Sherritt. Handoff inside and straight up the middle is the carry. Nothing again fancy right there.
Met some real classy coaches doing this job for a number of years in Central Ohio, but no better than Jay Sherritt, a very driven guy that wanted to not only grow the game, but grow the future for the men that he coached. And I've got a great deal of respect because we have an injured player down on the field.
I think we have another cramping situation here with the score 26-21, North on top. Next Friday night, Toyota Rivals is back with you. We head out to Licking County, where the Hornets of Licking Heights will travel to take on the Green Wave of Newark Catholic. It all starts next Friday night at 7 o'clock, and it's right here for you on the CW Columbus. Always enjoy going out to Whitefield and Newark to watch high school football. We talk about the great setting we have here tonight at Panther Stadium. Wait till you get a chance to see a game out there. It is a spectacular place to watch a high school football game.
Historic.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. The home of both Newark and Newark Catholic. A couple of teams that are trying to assert themselves in the Licking County League. Should be a fun one next week. You were talking about Jay Sherritt a moment ago. In another life, I was hosting a podcast and had a chance to interview Coach Sherritt the day after his team won the state championship. And he called me while he was out shopping.
Great family guy. And
yeah, exactly. Coach, how do you celebrate a state championship? Well, we went out shopping.
Yeah.
Wife and I had to get some things done around the house, and we were out shopping.
They've both been committed to education and growing this game of football and growing the men that they've come in contact with. They've done a great job.
Third down and short. Central so far this year, 34% on third down. This is a 3rd and 2 from the North 36. Rocco Williams will operate over center. Turns and hands off. This is Kwan Alexander fighting ahead, and I think he did get the first down. If he did not get it by much.
Yeah, they're going to mark it, I think, about a football shy of the first down.
The Tigers are signaling that it wasn't first down. We are waiting on the official mark of the football. Under 2 to go, third quarter. 5-point lead for Pickerington North.
They're going to measure it, of course. We're reminded that during the pandemic years, they outlawed measurements. You weren't allowed to go down there and touch anything, and they didn't want you handing the sticks from one human being to another, and you can see they're going to be just shy.
You're right on the money. About a football.
About a length of a football short.
Football short.
All right.
4th and about a yard, less than a yard for Jeff Lamonaco and his offense.
Bring in Dawan Thompson Green. Where's number 5? Let's go. Get him on the field. That's one of those things, Marty, that you run him out on the field. You're announcing to the entire state of Ohio, we're going to run the football and we're going to hand it to number 5.
Yeah, there's no surprise
and
there,
you still can't stop it.
Right, you still can't stop it. This game coming down to what you would think would be another tight finish, and there have been a number of those in this series. The last 2 games have been decided by 8 points or less. The last North win in 2021 was by a field goal in overtime, 13-10. And there he is. Jeff was right on the money. The big guy comes back on. Dayon Thompson Green.
Well, they're in a wildcat right now, and they've got Aaron Heller lined up. Nope, excuse me. They got quarterback has walked up.
Yeah, they got Thompson Green in the slot. I would imagine they'll run to that side. He's going to lead the way through the hole, and it's a first down and more. As Thompson Green helped clear the way for his teammate. And a first down as sprinting through the hole for the first down was Aaron Heller.
Well, number 4 brought down by number 4. I want you to watch the lead block, though, by number 5. That's who we talked about running the football right up inside. He's able to clear out room, and 4-on-4 right there. Kelly Jackson making a touchdown-saving tackle.
Ball to the 26 of North, where it's first down and 10. Rocco Williams with a slot back, and we'll have 2 wides to the near side. A helmet pops off as the ball is handed off, and this is Terrence Alexander, gang tackled and shoved back.
I love the player whose helmet came off. This he just stood there like he was frozen, which is what you're supposed to do.
We saw earlier a penalty on Angelo McCullum, who continued into the play.
Exactly.
So Ray Jackson, the central center, just immediately threw his hands up into the air. I'm not involved in this play, everybody. Watch his helmet come off here. There it goes. No, watch it. Yep. Oh, there goes the hands.
Hands went straight up in the air, and he never moved an inch. Now, again, this brings up another issue. You bring up a backup center into the football game, had no exchanges, no practice, no warm-up with this center. You want to make sure you get the exchange between you and the quarterback perfect.
And everything works almost to perfection as a short gain here as they ran in their backup center on that offense, Austin DiNardo, and everything worked as well as you could hope on that.
Pretty solid. You know, the last time North has won in this rivalry was back in 21 in a 13-10 overtime win. So Pickerington Central has certainly owned it most recently.
3rd down and 1, under a minute to go. Handoff inside, and nice running inside by Anthony Madison as, again, he was able to find a hole, get through it, and was shoved back after he had plowed towards the 9-yard line and got shoved back. Jeff was talking about the way this rivalry has gone of late as you watch Madison speed ahead. Pickerington Central, they have won 12 of the last 13 times these teams have met. They only won the game Jeff talked about. 8 times those games have been decided, though, by 10 or fewer points. And as we talked earlier as well, too, this rivalry has been played twice in a season, 6 times. Last year, Central, all 3 of their opponents in the postseason were teams they had played during the regular season. And that last play will have been the last play of quarter number 3. We head to the last quarter in the rivalry game in Pickerington tonight. The Tigers and the Panthers. It's Pickerington North with a 5-point lead, 26-21. We head to the 4th quarter. It's Toyota. Would it be a bit of an understatement to say that you have enjoyed this one tonight? 26-21, Pickerington North leads Pickerington Central. Welcome back to Panther Stadium in Pickerington, along with Jeff Logan, Kellyanne Stitz. I'm Marty Bannister. Dean Marina is our producer, our entire CW Columbus crew. Great job tonight by everyone associated with our broadcast this evening, bringing you the sights and sounds of this 22nd meeting of what I think is fair to say Central Ohio's biggest rivalry, Pickerington North and Pickerington Central. And the lead belongs to North right now as Central moves up the field. They hand the football off. Kaywan Alexander stutter steps for a moment and then moves into the hole as we start this 4th quarter with a Bowling Green State University first down call. Great balance tonight on this Central offense. They have run in Terrence Alexander, Kaywan Alexander, Aaron Heller, Anthony Madison. A quartet of backs have been very successful tonight for this Central offense.
I've been impressed with this young man, number 2, Rocco Williams, just a sophomore leading this football program, and the future is certainly bright.
They'll hand off, and here is Anthony Madison. Sidesteps, one tackle attempt, dives towards the pylon, and did he get in? No, he was out of bounds at the 1. He was close, but does not get in.
What a good job of getting to the edge and then getting himself going upfield. We're going to watch the tail end of this as well. Again, gets his shoulder square, makes somebody miss. Whoop! Can't touch me. And let's see if he steps out of bounds.
Wow.
Hard to see from that angle.
That's good camera work by our crew.
Yeah.
It's a 3rd and goal. They hand off. Heller, touchdown, Pickerington Central. The Tigers take the lead again. We seesaw back and forth here in the second half. This time it's Pickerington Central back on top, and that's a Ramos Roofing touchdown. For a free estimate on your roof, call or text 761-ROOF, 76636 for the Tigers.
Now, I'm imagining you're going for 2 on this on the extra point because 1 gets you just nothing. As you can see, the dive into the end zone, easily done. Great job by the offensive line, and creates the opportunity for Aaron Heller to have touchdown number 2 on the evening. And I'm guessing they're going for 2.
And I think your guess is accurate, Mr. Logan.
Leading by 1. If they just got the kick, you lead by 2, and a field goal hurts you. This way, you can protect yourself from at least a field goal.
The Alexanders on either side of Rocco Williams. Now Kwan Alexander goes into a slot. Now lines up, and Rocco Williams will throw for 2, lofts it into the end zone. We're close to the end zone, and a great tackle there, shoves back the receiver, Dominic Shaw, as the North defense comes up. Tyson Long was the first Panther there, and the lead stays at a point for Central, but watch this great job by the North defense.
Yeah, just a little bubble screen outside, and there was no blocking out in front of him, and it looked like Pickerington North knew exactly the play that they wanted to run, because look at the 2 defensive backs come up here and make the play. They came off of 1 receiver and stepped up to make the play. This is an excellent job of secondary work by the Pickerington North Panthers.
Jeff, you were talking about form tackling a little while ago, about Malachi Taylor right there.
As good as it gets.
It sure was, wasn't it?
That is absolutely as good as it gets.
There is the scoring summary, again brought to you by the Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health of Franklin County. 12 plays, 63 yards, almost 5.5 minutes. And that's been the key in this game tonight. When Central scores, it takes them a while to get there. They eat up a lot of clock when they put the ball in the end zone.
Now that drive was helped a little bit by the interference call, able to continue that drive. And I think we've gone now maybe 3 plays in a row without a penalty flag, so that may be a record for this evening's game.
The announcer jinx in full effect.
And we haven't had a turnover. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Relay with the high short kick, and will be fielded by Sam Williams-Dixon. And breaks out of a tackle attempt to the middle of the field, and is tripped up as he started to gain some acceleration out across the 35. He was starting to pick up some steam there, and just at the last moment had his feet knocked out from underneath him and gets out to the 38-yard line.
You getting the feeling, Marty, that this is last team with the ball wins the game? It's turning out.
I think you're right on the money.
Turning out to be one of those kinds of games as you see the effort. You know, they're pooch kicking it, basically trying to get it down there get their coverage so it's there. It's almost like a punt coming from that short kick, trying to eliminate the big return. Yet Pickerington North still able to get the ball out to the 38-yard line. What a great place to be able to start their drive.
Jeff was talking about this game perhaps coming down to the wire, and both teams have played games like that already this year. We mentioned the Panthers win at Elder. Central had a similar win a couple of weeks back when they beat a very good Huber Heights Wayne team. Back to throw now as O'Connell looks for Preston Bowman, who again is open behind the defense and again makes the catch. Oh my goodness, Preston Bowman, have a night, young man, have a night.
Well, there was no help over top. It looked like man coverage or a blown coverage out there if they're trying to get it over top. Here you see the one cover, get it in, running the little skinny post. Look at the separation and no help. Man coverage. How many times do you have to see one before you realize you cannot cover him on man coverage?
37 yards on that pitch and catch, and a great job defensively as crashing through that time was Malachi Evans, one of the defensive ends, to get to Michael Taylor before he started through the left side.
I guarantee you that had to have been a blown coverage because there is no way that Jeff LaMonaco is going to put somebody out on an island. There's Preston Bowman tonight. Just a little bit of an average night, averaging over 40 yards per catch and 3 touchdowns.
We were talking at the half when we were looking at some of the highlights, and we said he had just a silly first half. I think the silliness has continued into the second half as well, too. We mean that in a positive way. Second down and 12. The ball back to the 27 with 9.5 to go into a basic thriller here tonight at Panther Stadium. Back to throw is O'Connell trying to hit Derek Ross Jr.
Good defense.
Turning in. And on coverage, Jawan Turner, the 5'11", 175-pound senior corner, with a great play defensively for the Tigers defense.
Yeah, really good timing by Jawan coming up there to make the play. responsibility, trying to get the ball on a quick in route. You can see the ball thrown a little bit behind.
Disruptive enough
to
not allow the catch to be made by Derek Ross Jr. Landon O'Connell, 6'4", 215-pound senior. Last year threw 15 touchdown passes. Has 6 on the season, 3 tonight. He's back to throw again. Looks to the far side. This one might have been deflected, or his arm might have been hit as he went to throw. Regardless, the ball waffles incomplete as Derek Ross Jr. was in the area. Maybe we'll see if O'Connell was hitting. You can see him grabbing his right elbow there as he went back to throw.
Landon O'Connell had no time to be able to wait for this play to develop. You can see the pressure coming from the outside, and he did get hit on the elbow as that ball was thrown, and very fortunate that it was not picked off. And 4th down situation, and Pickerington North will play on 4th down and 12.
Jeff, again, that was Malachi Evans who had the pressure that time on O'Connell. He has started to make some big plays here down the stretch for the Central defense. 4th and 12. Back to throw is O'Connell. Has some time. Looks to the far side now. Again, this is a jump ball in the end zone, and a penalty flag comes in. Derek Ross Jr., the intended receiver. And the football will stay with Pickerington North as we'll have a pass interference call, and it will set the Panthers up in good shape offensively.
Yeah, we've talked about the back shoulder throw, and again, that is the throw that's going right to the corner of the pylon there. Here's the call.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 16. Half the distance to the goal.
Well, Juwan Turner, who just had such a terrific play the play before, had the responsibility again in man coverage. Now, again, this ball is being thrown to that pylon right there. And
there was a lot of grabbing going on that play right there.
Yeah, there was a lot, both sides.
Exactly.
Giving it, but there you see the frustration of Juwan Turner. What a terrible position to play with. That shut-down corner out there on an island.
Ball moved inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. 1st and 10 for North. 9:20 to go with the lead at a point for Central, 27-26.
Preston Bowman, bottom of your screen right there, number 1.
I'm sure we're not the only ones who see him, Jeff.
If you got a white jersey, you better count on him.
We'll put a man in motion and hand the football off to Sam Williams-Dixon. And he goes up, spins out of a tackle attempt. He's to the 5. The pile continues to push him towards the goal line. And he got close after the big shove and does not get in. But he got some extra help that time as he got inside the 5-yard line. The ball will be spotted inside the 5 at the 1. It will be a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
Oh, I like this kid. I can understand why Tony Alford is excited about him. And look at the push by that offensive line.
Quickly, they hand the football off, and this time they work inside. And again, the pile tries to push the man into the end zone, and they do this time. Touchdown. As that time it was Michael Taylor who was in the middle of all of that pushing and shoving, and he ends up with 6 for the Pickerington North Panthers, and they go right back on top.
That's just like hopping on the bus and everybody grabbing a bot, and they just push like crazy. Get us into the end zone. Watch Michael Taylor take the football, and just the push going on that gets him into the end zone. And
well, they say it takes a village. And he got some help there from almost his entire team to get into the end zone. Certainly from almost everybody on the offensive side of the ball as they got into the end zone. It's 32-27 now in favor of Pickerington North, and they will again play for 2 out of the Wildcat. Direct snap to Sam Williams-Dixon, and he tries to turn it up and does not get in. Malachi Taylor again coming in for the stop as the try for 2 fails. 8:56 to go. I would imagine you're not touching that remote. 32-27. Pickerington North leads Pickerington Central. It's our Toyota Friday Night Rivals.
Toyota's 4 brothers have made a name for themselves on and off the road.
Tacoma has been the best-selling truck in its class for the past 18 years.
This is the legendary Toyota 4Runner.
With over 40 years of off-road experience, this SUV has seen it all and keeps coming back for more.
The powerfully efficient Sequoia delivers off-road adventures with style and comfort.
And Tundra is the biggest, most powerful, most technologically advanced truck Toyota has ever built.
Toyota's 4 brothers. Let's go places.
Our scoring summary tonight brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health of Franklin County. 6 plays, 62 yards, 1 minute, 52 seconds. Again, brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of Franklin County. Pickerington North goes back on top 32-27, unable to convert the try for 2 with 8:56 to play in this one here this evening. It has been a lot of fun tonight here at Pickerington North at Panther Stadium. We're glad you're with us on this 4th week of the high school football season. Next week, we're halfway through the regular season. Here's the kick by North. Again, that high, short kick that angles to the near side and sails out of bounds. And the Central offense will come back onto the field with relatively good field position to start this drive, with the Tigers down by 5 at 32-27. Of course, Ohio State's home tomorrow. The Buckeyes play host to the Penguins of Youngstown State. And Saturday at 11 o'clock, the best pregame tradition in TV returns with the Football Fever on WSYX. It helps you get ready for the game plan. Join Clay Hall and the Buckeye Brain Trust for the Football Fever. It starts at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning on ABC6. Good-looking Clay right there. I think he's probably going to throw about 30 or 40-yard spiral on that right there.
Yeah, he's looking for Preston Bowman is what he's doing.
There's the numbers for the sophomore signal caller for the Central Tigers. 8 of 12, 150 yards.
Very efficient.
Ball out to the 40-yard line. Williams will turn, hand off. And running straight up the middle of the field and diving out towards the marker was Kwan Alexander, close to a first down.
Going to have his knee down about the 48-yard line. He'll be 2 yards short of that. They need to cross the 50 to get the first down, and great first down play. This would be perfect for play-action pass. See if they try and fake that pass and maybe find you only got one single receiver.
Picked up 8. Movement up front. Angelo McCullum jumped on that defensive side.
Ball. Encroachment. Defense, number 94. 5-yard penalty. Result is a first down.
I think we need to install an anchor on McCullum. He is a terrific player, but you got to be careful there.
That flag, again, sponsored by the United States Army. That first down is another Bowling Green State University first down. Our stat man, Jason Van Hoos, tells us that is 13 Pickerington North penalties tonight for a whopping 120 yards. Central runs the football as they crash back into North territory. The ball to the 45-yard line. We were talking earlier about Jay Sherritt, the longtime Pickerington Central head coach, watching this one tonight. We want to send out some get well wishes to someone I know who's watching the game tonight. Longtime teacher in the Pickerington local schools, 30-plus years. Jean Postage watching tonight. Her and her husband Lou are watching this one this evening. A lot of folks with interest in this one tonight, and for obvious reasons.
Unbalanced line to the right of the quarterback. That's where they'll run.
Yep. And the first down is picked up, but not by much. As coming up to make the play, Pickerington North had pressure that time, but it will be a first down as Tyler Irby came up. Well, they're going, I'm sorry, it's still shy. Still shy. So it'll be a third down coming up.
Yeah, third and about 8. They got to get the ball to the 37-yard line in order to get the first down. Now, excuse me.
Jumped the gun a little bit there.
If you want to win this game, you have to make a stop on these third down situations.
It is third down and 8 at the 45. They'll put Terrence Alexander in motion. Flags come in as the ball was snapped.
Looked like we had motion on the offense.
Dead ball. False start. 52. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3 down.
So that will move the football back to the midfield stripe. The interlocking P&N right there in the middle of the field. Pickerington North High School. Jeff talked about it earlier. Thanks to all the folks here at North. They have been gracious hosts for our CW Columbus broadcast crew. We have enjoyed our visit here this evening, and we have enjoyed this one tonight. And now a third down and 13 with the ball back at the midfield stripe. A little over 6 minutes to go in the game. Rocco Williams back to throw. Protection breaks down. Williams goes down. The Panthers came racing in that time. Ben Thompson, the defensive end. He was the first Panther to get there. Angelo McCullum was there as well, too.
Yeah, that's one of the few times they've been able to get to Rocco Williams, and it couldn't have come at a better time if you're cheering for the Pickerington North Panthers. And you can see there was just not an opportunity. Ben Thompson the big junior defensive end, able to come in and make the play. A lot of black jerseys back there.
Tank Washington back deep for the punt, which will come to the near side and out of bounds off the side of the foot of Logan Hicks. And the Central defense will come back onto the field. North will have the football with 5:40 left in the game, with North leading 32. Jeff Logan likes economical things, and you would have to like the economical numbers by Landon O'Connell tonight.
Yeah, those were very successful. 50% completion average, 9 out of 18, 262, 3 terrific touchdowns, and no interceptions. Coming into tonight's game, averaging only 135 yards a game passing, 2 times that already in this game against a very stout defense.
5-point lead, 5:40 to go in the game for the North Panthers, looking to go to 4-0 on the season after winning 7 games last year. Handoff. This is Dorian Hamilton trying to turn the corner, and is dropped. Line of scrimmage, the 44, as Hamilton gets out to the 49-yard line, a pickup of 5. We talked about Central last year, their postseason run, where all 3 of their opponents they played twice last year. Central got into the second round after beating the 12th seed Groveport 24-21. Central then lost. North then lost to Central 28-20. They finished 3-2 in the OCC. Ohio did the North Panthers. OCC, of course, will be expanding here in a couple of years with Tays Valley and Logan coming in. Hand off inside, and again the ball carrier that time, Dorian Hamilton.
Talked about the importance of third down stops, and Pickerington North able to come up with one with the sack of the quarterback and getting the ball on punt formation with terrific field position. It was reminiscent of a Marty Bannister 9-iron is what that last punt was.
Oh my goodness.
It wasn't very attractive.
Well, there's no question about that.
But this is a huge stop here on third down for the Tigers. If the Panthers are able to convert on this third down, clock is certainly now in their favor, heading short of just 4.5 minutes.
Both teams still have their full complement of 3 timeouts. Here's O'Connell back to throw down the far sideline, and this one is out of bounds. Derek Ross Jr. was the intended receiver, but was out of bounds by a couple of yards.
North fans looking for an interference. They've had a few of those tonight, but that was perfect coverage, and you saw double coverage on the outside that time, protecting from the ball going over top. Landon O'Connell trying to throw this ball deep, and you can see the defense was right there, and the ball was thrown out of bounds. So brings up a 4th down situation. I do not think you're going to be going forward here. This is all about battle and field position. They need to get a good, solid kick.
Bowman has had a big night punting the football. I mentioned that one kick he had earlier, a 62-yarder. Waist-high snap, gets off the kick, and a decent one here. Let's see if it gets a good roll. It hit a teammate. That ball's loose on the field. It hit one of his teammates in the back, racing downfield coverage-wise. That ball hit the back of Tyson Long. And the ball rolls dead at the 19-yard line.
Well, the fact that it was a black jersey made it a dead ball at that point in time. They've downed it there. If it had been a white jersey, that's a live ball.
Football.
Well, this is what championships are all about. Get the ball with 4 minutes remaining in the game. Very clear. You're trailing in this game by 5 points. You've got your destiny is very clear what you've got to do. And if you're Pickerington North, haven't won in this game since 2021, you got to get a stop.
You saw the North student section there. There were so many activities surrounding this game this week. There was the annual student section football game. So many other activities between the two schools centering on this game. And that's what you like to see in this. Yes, it is a rivalry, but at the same time, everyone knows everybody. Here's Rocco Williams back to throw, evades the pressure, rolls to the far side, being chased, still on to go with the football, and is finally caught from behind by Ben Thompson and thrown down. Ben Thompson, who made a heck of a play a couple of moments ago, makes another big stop right there for the North defense.
It looked like they were setting up what I would call a throwback screen. You can see the quarterback making his way to his right, and now he's looking to throw the ball back in the left flat, but there's no receiver out there. I think miscommunication at some point in time because he had nobody in the area to be able to throw the football to.
And Jeff, how about Ben Thompson? If you watch that replay, initially he missed Rocco Williams, and then he just kept right on going. He circled back around and caught the quarterback from behind and threw him down. Had to reverse field and go to the other side. We have a Pickerington Central player with a training staff moment here as the athletic training staff is out checking on this individual down again at about the 22-yard line. The Pickerington North High School marching band put on quite the show earlier tonight during halftime. This look in on their performance is sponsored by Music Go Round Marching Band Sound. Check out any of their locations, 2630 Bethel Road and Gahanna inside the Stone Ridge Plaza. There's the Panthers marching band. There you see Sharon White hopping off the field after the training staff, the athletic training staff came on to take a look at that young man who's played a heck of a football game tonight for Jeff Lamonaco's football team. Yep. Angelo McCullum, he's played a big game. There have been a lot of great performances tonight. We always select our player of the game afterwards, and I kind of think we have that one already cinched, but there are certainly some serious candidates. 3.5 to play. Terrence Alexander to the far side gets shoved out of bounds as Kelly Jackson comes racing up from his corner spot to push Terrence Alexander out of bounds. That'll bring up a fourth down. I'm sorry, a third down at 9 upcoming.
Yeah, this has not been a picturesque drive for Pickerington Central. Quarterback scrambling, not having an open receiver on the first to try, and then trying to run something out of the Wildcat. And Jeff Lamonaco got the headset on. He's the defensive coordinator, allowing the offensive staff to call the game there.
Ryan Doherty, the offensive coordinator for the Central offense. They'll put trips to the near side, 2 wides to the far, and empty the backfield for the sophomore quarterback Williams, who will look to throw over the middle. He was trying to hit Tavian Galloway on a post route, and stride for stride with him was Malachi Taylor on coverage, the nickelback. And the pass sails incomplete. Again, great pressure that time from the Illinois commit, Angelo McCullum.
Angelo's had his hands full. This time they get him out on the outside. He's usually on the inside, and he had pressure on the quarterback immediately.
And they're going to run a fake. And it will not succeed as the football went into the hands of Dominic Shaw, but North was ready that time as they sniffed it out. Great job that time by Kalen Lyles, who was right there to bring down Dominic Shaw before he could pick up the first down. Watch here.
Well, you got to be prepared for anything. The snap to the up back, they needed to get the ball all the way out to about the 32-yard line for the first down, and he's going to be about 5 yards short. And great heads-up play by the special teams group for the Pickerington North Panthers.
Jeff, we talked about Lyles making one of the hits on that play, but how about the job that Malachi Taylor did as well, too, for Nate Hillerich's team? He was the guy who really sniffed that play out.
Very impressive. Now, important that you take care of the football, continue to run it here. They will not put the ball in the air, in my opinion.
They will hand off with the Panthers at Sam Williams-Dixon, and the pile pushes ahead. The line of scrimmage, the 27-yard line. Again, both teams still have all of their timeouts. Are we starting to get into that range right now? If you're Jeff Lamonaco, with the way this game is being played, you start thinking about those?
Absolutely. I think he wants to see if they can stop him here on this set of downs before he starts spending the timeouts. And if you're the quarterback for Landon O'Connell, what you want to do is make sure you're letting that clock run all the way down.
If you're Pickerington Central, the goal here, obviously, don't let them score, but hold them to a field goal. It's still a one-possession game at that point. And again, Running play, handoff inside as the football into the hands of Michael Taylor. So we go to a crucial third down with the clock spinning to the 2:20 mark. Pickerington North looking to go 4-0. They started out last season with 3 wins, then lost this rivalry game 14-7. Next week they'll be at Reynoldsburg. Pickerington Central next week will have its hands full once again. How about that? They get a team that many think might be the best team in Central Ohio, and that's Gahanna. Third down and 5 from the 22. Handoff inside, and again the pile pushes ahead as Sam Williams-Dixon gets close to the first down marker.
From where they're marking it, it's going to be just shy, but there's the timeout by Jeff LaMonaco.
So 1:44 left to play.
Timeout of the half.
And it looks to be roughly a yard away, Jeff. And there you see Sam Williams-Dixon. He has crossed the century mark with 103 yards tonight.
He's got to look at this as a failure tonight with 76 touchdowns in his last 2 seasons. They have none tonight. This is uncharted territory. Now, fourth down situation. You got a field goal kicker that has not yet attempted a field goal, all right, for Pickerington North this season. And we did see him miss on a 35-yard extra point try, which would be comparable to where they are now. You got to challenge your offensive line to control the line of scrimmage. Remember the push they had down at the goal line?
Absolutely.
That's what they want to look at right here. They want the push play. Everybody hop on the bus and start pushing.
And Jeff, look who's in the backfield. Angelo McCullum comes in for this offensive set. All 6'3", 285 pounds of him. Sam Williams-Dixon off to the left of the quarterback. Fourth down and 1. The game on the line. They hand it to McCullum, and he gets up to the outside. He's to the 10, steps inside to the 5, and the big man, Angelo McCullum, roars into the end zone with what might have been your basic knockout punch tonight.
Flag thrown late afterwards. It may end up being.
McCullum showed off his throwing ability as well, too, much to the dismay of the North coaching staff. After scoring, he heaved the football out of bounds, and watch the big man put the ball in his hip. Good form right there.
Boy, nobody saw this coming.
Look at that. Able to sidestep a defender and cruise into the end zone. Angelo McCullum makes it an 11-point lead at 38-27. There comes the flag after the toss by McCullum. And how about that by the big man?
You know what it reminded me of was Mike Vrabel for the Patriots, right?
Right.
You know, here's a defensive guy, and they put him in the offense. They allow him to catch
touchdown,
the football.
Dead ball. Sportsmanlike conduct. 94 against Pickerington for throwing the football into the seats. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Try down.
Angelo McCullum lined up in the backfield.
11-point lead.
Roared in for the score. Do you think somewhere Brett Bielema was very happy about that?
Brett Bielema, now the head football coach at Illinois.
He's probably thinking, Nate Hillerich just showed me something right there. We might be able to use that someday.
Absolutely very lucky to win, by the way, Illinois last week, playing Toledo from the MAC. Illinois winning on basically the last play of the game.
Landon Groshon to try the extra point. 97 seconds left to play. Snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick likewise is good. 1:37 to go, a 12-point lead, courtesy of Angelo McCullum. They did it through the air tonight. 3 by the air, 1 by the land, and that was a big one right there as McCullum goes in for the touchdown. Well, we talked about the 3 scores through the air this evening, and Preston Bowman, the hat trick tonight, 3 touchdown passes from quarterback Landon O'Connell. There's the first one, the 85-yard scamper for the score. Then the nice catch there and the breakaway. And then watch this last one coming up here after you see this touchdown reception. This was pretty good. We thought this was outstanding. He's not done yet. Watch this one.
One-handed, corner of the end zone. That's the one Santonio Holmes, I think, got a picture of.
And then another big first down catch for Bowman there. Preston Bowman, congratulations, our player of the game. 5 catches, 203 yards, and 3 scores. The scoring summary tonight. for that last drive. 4 plays, 27 yards, brought to you by the Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of Franklin County. 39-27, Pickerington North leads Pickerington Central. And after McCullum's shot put heave of the football into the end zone, or into the student section, the penalty flag thrown, so the ball will be walked back to the 25, and that's where the kick will come from.
You know, it's one of those things that you don't want to criticize, but it's composure,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep. You just saw on the screen a moment ago, we're getting close to orb time, Jeff.
Oh, no.
Yes.
You were tempted tonight.
No.
You caught a view.
That's not fair.
No.
That's not fair. You asked me to do it, but I didn't.
But you did catch a view of the orb.
Absolutely. You wanted me to touch the orb. I wasn't going to do it, though. Here's the kick return, a short return, as Chris Turntine.
Kellyanne Stitz has got her hands all over that orb. I can promise you that. And she will proudly present that trophy to the winning coach, Coach Nate Hillerich, tonight with 1:34 remaining in this game.
Central still has a couple of timeouts left to use, so let's not put the lid on this one just yet. Stranger things have happened.
There's your quarterback taking it all in.
Looks like he's worn out. Central with the football. Good field position at the 45. Rocco Williams will roll to throw and sends a dart to the far side. The pass is caught as the receiver able to put his hands down, Sharon White, and then spin free and pick up some extra yardage. And he is across the midfield stripe. It is close to a first down. Not quite. It is a first down.
Yep.
It is a Bowling Green State University first down.
And a good job he turned back inside, but then realized I got to get out of bounds. I got to save these timeouts. So he's not only able to get the first down, but he got out of bounds. So the clock will not. Hang on a second.
Well, they did not call that a first down. I thought one official had signaled move the chains ahead.
Yeah. Now there's some confusion over there on that side. And the electronic down marker is second down.
We were all thinking first down. We may have had a timeout called here as well, too. Well, there's a little bit of consternation on both sides of the field right now. And here comes Jeff Volpio.
The position of the change to begin the series was off. Therefore, we have second down and 1. Second down and 1.
Can't blame the receiver for
Nope.
that.
I've been calling football, Jeff, for a long, long time, and I think that's the first time I've ever heard that.
Now the clock should start.
Right. Back to throw is Williams. Rolling, sets, protection, breaks down. He heaves it downfield for Galloway, and the pass was almost intercepted. As there were a lot of guys back there for North. They had a quartet of defenders back there near the 6'5 Galloway. Kelly Jackson was the Panther player who had his hands on the ball momentarily.
That was a touch crowded down there, wasn't it?
It was.
four defensive players. You could see this. He was slinging this one from the hip, and surprisingly was not intercepted.
Yeah, he dropped down from about State Route 256 to throw that ball. He was way down low to throw that one. 1:19 to go in this one. Seesaw affair in the second half. Well, really throughout the game. Both teams have traded ties, traded the lead. Once Central grabbed the advantage, North went right back down and took the lead, handoff into the middle of the field. As Kwan Alexander had the ball to the 45 of North.
That'll give them the first down. Clock stops momentarily.
Bowling Green State University first down now after the pickup. Back to throw is Williams. Williams will step up and run now with the football, tucks the ball to his hip, and is brought down from behind as the ball carrier, Rocco Williams, is brought down. Michael Murphy lost his helmet, so he'll have to come out of the game. Seen 3 of those in the game tonight. Quickly to the line of scrimmage come the Tigers with under a minute to go in the game. Down 39-27. Rocco Williams again, but penalty flags come in as Williams started to drift back into the pocket. This flag sponsored by the United States Army. And here's our 4th member of our broadcast crew tonight, Jeff Volpio.
Timeout. Pick North.
A timeout called by Pickerington North. There you see this Panthers team. I asked Nate Hillerich during the week, Jeff, if this is his best team. And, of course, that's a type of question that we in the media, we kind of have to ask that because this is a very good team. And while he didn't come right out and say that, he did say, I might be able to tell you more after Friday night.
Yeah, he's got to feel really good about what he's got here. He obviously has playmakers. He's got a senior quarterback over there that has the capacity to be able to really be a difference maker out there, distribute the ball to a lot of different players, and there are just huge, huge playmakers out there going forward.
That is a busy night for the officials, Jeff. Logan was just handed the penalty numbers in this one. There's Rocco Williams to throw, far side, the pass will fall complete.
You don't mind if I just feel indigestion here as I look at this, but 22 penalties tonight in the game for 100. So the third leading rusher was the official.
Jeff Volpio and his crew. How about that?
180 yards of penalties. You know, we make fun of that, but, you know, this is something that is a coachable moment. They've got to fix that because as you go along, you're going to get yourself into a situation where those are going to be game killers.
Absolutely.
You know, after this game, Pickerington Central has got Gahanna, you mentioned that, then Newark, Central Crossing, Groveport, Lancaster, and Reynoldsburg. So their Gahanna game is going to be the biggest game that is remaining on their schedule.
Snap bounces back to Rocco Williams, and he'll just get this one off as, again, he had a lot of guys staring him down. Ben Thompson, who's become a big force here in this second half, came racing in. Pickerington North will have Reynoldsburg next week. They make the short drive to Reynoldsburg for that game.
And after that, Westerville Central at Westland, Grove City, New Albany, and then they wrap up their season at Gahanna in their new stadium. So I think the next matchups you're going to watch for both of these teams are going to be Gahanna, and Gahanna's got two huge games on their schedule, having to go up against either one of these two.
Bruce Ward again coaching what many think may be the best team in Central Ohio, but I tell you what, the team which has a 12-point lead in this one right now on defense, that's a pretty fair high school football team as well too. Good catch to the far side by White as he slid down after making the catch, and again he looks to be a little distressed after making the catch. That's a Bowling Green State University first down with 39 seconds left, and White will have to require some assistance before he's able to get back up.
He's had that cramping situation ever since he scored the one touchdown there, and you can see that they're trying to help him.
Jeff, that's the one thing you were talking earlier about, the caliber of play in high school football in Central Ohio. When you play in the OCC, it's every single Friday night. You're going to run into somebody that's going to punch you in the mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, the way that they've divided up the schools and try to make them as competitive as they possibly can, there's still, in each one of the divisions, there's still a little bit of strength at the top. And I know that the OCC will kind of calculate their divisions next year as well, with two new teams coming in, Logan and Taze Valley coming into the OCC.
Yeah, these divisions they're, to say treacherous might be an understatement. Pickerington Central in the Buckeye with Central Crossing, Groveport, Lancaster, Newark, and Reynoldsburg. Pickerington North occupies the Ohio with Gahanna, Grove City. Let's not forget New Albany. That's a pretty good football team as well, too. We saw Westerville Central in week 1, and Westland, as Jeff mentioned, expansion hits next year with Taze Valley and Logan when they come calling. Rocco Williams back to throw with 33 seconds left. Steps up into the pocket now, will tuck the football, and he's on the move. Williams to the 20-yard line, Williams to the 15, continues to go ahead to the 10-yard line and is brought down with 23 seconds left.
Again, if they can get the ball in the end zone with some time left on the clock, it does set up the possibility of an onside kick.
Central will use its next to last timeout. As racing up the field is Rocco Williams. As he was tackled by Michael Jordan. Inside the 15-yard line at the 12. Next week, the halfway point of the high school football season in the state of Ohio, the regular season.
You realize what happens after the halfway point, or this is new for you. So,
okay.
Are you aware of Logan's Heroes? Do you
yes,
know any?
I know. Yes.
You've heard about it?
I have.
Well, there we go. Beginning in the second half of the season.
You come with your own theme music. I'm impressed.
Absolutely. Hogan's Heroes or Logan's Heroes.
Logan's Heroes.
We will bring you the top 5 teams in Central Ohio based upon what I believe Nobody else's, no computers, nothing else. And I will tell you who the top 5 teams are in Central Ohio every week after week 5.
Folks will be sitting on the edge of their couches waiting for that. Williams back to throw. Fires into the end zone. Touchdown. Threw a dart right there to the receiver, cutting across the middle right there as the Central Tigers go back down the field and score. That was Chris Turntine in the end zone, and a good throw by Rocco Williams. We're not done yet. 17 seconds left. It's 39-33.
Boy, just a post over the middle, and one of those things that you felt like Pickerington North was just kind of laying back on defense, trying to keep everything in front of them, and not very good coverage over the middle, and a really good throw.
The extra point will be by Carson Goulet. Snap is good, the hold is good, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 17 seconds left, it's 39-34 Pickerington North, and of course we all know what's coming next, the onside kick. Now remember, Central's got a timeout left, so if they're able to successfully field this kick, we are not done just yet. Of course, the hands team now will come on for Pickerington North, and don't think for a moment, if this thing would turn, that penalty on Angelo McCullum, where the ball was kicked off from the 25. There's a long way to go before we get there.
Could be a difference maker, though. You are absolutely right.
Special teams coaches doing their duties right now, making sure they have their hands team on and the coverage team ready for Pickerington Central as well. 6 plays, 56 yards. It took 1 minute and 17 seconds. Scoring summary brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of Franklin County. Well, we told you it would go down to the wire, and it is doing just that with 17 seconds left. 39-34 Pickerington North.
Be curious to see if Pickerington North makes any kind of a timeout here based upon the initial lineup that Pickerington Central comes out with on this onside kick attempt. Now, you got your hands team out there. There's no big bodies on the field anymore. These are all receivers and defensive backs.
Carson Goulet will get set to kick the ball away. Right in the middle of that hands team for North, standing at the interlocking P and N is Dorian Hamilton. A.J. Miller is among those up front. And here we go. Carson Goulet. The onside kick is coming, and there's the kick, and it's covered, and Pickerington North has the football and has the game. As it went right to the guy we were talking about, right in the middle, Dorian Hamilton.
That's your trusted guy. Looked like he was playing shortstop there. One hopper right into his chest. They will go out and line it up, take a knee, and put the dog in the truck. Pretty good execution here by the kicker. Looking for that big hop is what they were hoping for, but they are short hopped it right into Dorian Hamilton's hands, and Pickerington North will win this game in the rivalry, and it is lived up to, Marty, everything I expected and more.
It sure has. Nate Hillerich with a big, big victory for his program in this rivalry, which is so intense. It has been so competitive. These two programs know each other so very, very well. 12 seconds left. The clock will roll down. Nate Hillerich and his Pickerington North Panthers have won the Battle of Pickerington for the first time since the 2021 season when they did it in overtime. 39-34, the final tonight here at Panther Stadium in Pickerington at Pickerington North High School. Students are racing towards the field right now. The Panthers football team is in that far corner. Jeff LaMonaco, Nate Hillerich greet one another.
A lot of respect for these two programs, and
you would have to think both of these teams that a second meeting is not out of the question entirely. I mean, they've only done it 6 times prior, where they played twice in the season.
You know, normally at the end of all of our high school football games, there's a lineup of handshaking going across that 50-yard line, and the Pickerington Central Tigers are heading for the locker room. And I got to tell you, the same thing is happening with North. No attempt being made on either side to congratulate the other team. I'm not bringing that up as a controversy. I'm just bringing it up as an observation of what's going on the field. And I just hope our own Kellyanne Stitz is going to be safe down there.
There are a number of players midfield who are greeting one another right now, but there's just so much congestion on the field right now. Made that part of it a very difficult thing to go into. Pickerington North wins the Battle of Pickerington, beating Central 39-34. Your Toyota Friday night rivals lived up to the hype.
With over 50 million Toyota Corollas sold, it seems like we built one for everybody. And now we have. We built this one to be so dependable that it's often passed down within the family. We built this one to get 50 mpg and available all-wheel drive. This one for its handling and easy parking. This SUV for your next big adventure. And we built this one just for the fun of it. Introducing the 300 horsepower GR Corolla. Now there is a Corolla for everybody. Toyota, let's go places.
The aftermath of a win by Pickerington North. The celebration ongoing here at Panther Stadium. 39-34 the win. Somewhere amongst all of this is our Kellyanne Stitz.
Hey guys, I finally located Coach in the crowd, and an emotional game, a back and forth game, hard fought game, a big one for the community, for the team. How proud are you of your guys to pull this one off?
Love these guys. No quit. Played 4 quarters. We knew what it was going to take. You know, I just love this team. Selfless guys that just care about the team and just find to do whatever it takes.
What does this one mean to you and your squad?
I'm just so happy for the kids. Guys like Landon O'Connell, seniors. There's so many kids in this community count us out, and Pickerington took it over tonight. Pickerington North.
A huge team win, but I want to highlight Preston Bowman here for a second. 3 touchdowns, incredible catches. What talk about his effort tonight.
Yeah, great plays. You know, we had great protection, threw great balls. Defense gets big stops in the second half. Just what a night for the team.
Some things to learn on and grow from moving forward, but what does a win like this give you guys confidence moving forward into Reynoldsburg?
We've had 4 big ones. You know, it's 1-0 every week. We get back at it. We got Reynoldsburg next week. Get back to work.
Yes, sir.
And finally, I'm going to present you guys with the orb for winning this one. Where are you guys going to put this one?
Let's go!
Guys.
Boy, you just love to see pictures like that, and the happiness of taking home the orb in a rivalry football game.
I'm just glad Angelo McCullum didn't throw that one up into the stands. He got his hands on it at the end. I thought he was going to throw it.
Oh, goodness. 39-34 the final. Here are the numbers in this one tonight. Almost 900 yards of total offense between these two powerhouse football teams. The penalty numbers, yes, they were very high in this one this evening, but it does not take away from the type of game this was tonight.
Yeah, great balance for Pickerington North. Great balance for the Tigers over there, but just not enough plays to be able to make up for it. 500 total yards. That rarely happens against the Pickerington Central defense. No turnovers. Marty, it lived up to expectations, my friend. Good job.
It did. Pickerington North 4-0 now with the victory. Pickerington Central 2 back-to-back hard-fought losses. They dropped to 2 up and 2 down on the season. It was a dandy. I think it's fair to say you enjoyed it. And that's a wrap of this edition of Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College. We are back with you next Friday night at 7 o'clock for a battle in Licking County when Licking Heights takes on Newark Catholic. On behalf of Jeff Logan, Kellyanne Stitz, Dean Marini, and our entire CW Columbus crew, our stat man Jason Van Hoos, I'm Marty Van Hooster. Once again, the final score tonight here in Pickerington. Pickerington North beats their cross-city rivals, Pickerington Central, by the final of 39-34. So long.
Okay, we're good?
All right, we're off the air here.
Okay. All right, you two guys ready?
Coach Pruitt!
Oh, here, I'm up. Here.
Great job.